Got some light showers moving through downtown Nashville and some of the surrounding areas. Not impacting traffic too much right now. Right now, we just got the usual brake tapping going on northbound 65 up to the South Loop. It's a little more stop and go if you're northbound on the North Loop to the northern split. And then, of course, eastbound 24 past 440. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, kids. Welcome in. One and all, it's just after 3 o'clock, and I am excited to bring you a Monday edition of the Matt Murphy Radio Show. My name is Matt Murphy. Conveniently enough, it is March 2, 2026. That's the way it happens. It feels like it's the middle of February, and before you know it, it's the middle of March, or at least it's approaching it. We've got lots to get into today. You might expect that we'll be talking about the Iranian situation, as it were. You can call it a war. You can call it a military excursion. You can call it a military, whatever you want to call it. We are bombing Iran. We are taking care of business in the Middle East. And President Donald Trump, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, and others have made multiple comments about it today, and we'll have a few things to say as well. But most importantly, we want to allow you to speak on the matter as you will. 615-737-9986. Would love to hear from you. 615-737-9986. We'll be taking your telephone calls on this and other subjects throughout the course of the afternoon. It will be a busy show, and as you might expect, according to Donald Trump and according to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, this could take, 4 to 5 weeks to engage in this exercise. We've already seen that 6 U.S. service people, members, I don't know if they're male or female, so I won't say men or women, but 6 U.S. service members have lost their lives, and 18 have been seriously wounded in the war or the conflict. It's not technically a war because it wasn't declared by Congress. That is what we need for it to be a war. These things, I suppose, matter. I just want to try to speak artfully about what's going on over in the Middle East. 615-737-9986. Clearly, it is something that we're going to discuss throughout the course of the afternoon and throughout the course of the month. We're on Spotify, TuneIn, iHeart, our own app. You can find us, Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Download us and take us wherever you'd like to go on your mobile device. We would love if you were able to do that. You can also find us on Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. We're still running with, or operating with one arm tied behind our back over there. The lag is real. We are working on it. I think they had to mold the plastics to build the computer. I don't know where we are on it, but we're working, and we're getting toward a solution on the Talk Television side of things. We appreciate you being over there. I so thank you for liking, subscribing, joining in on the YouTube chat or wherever you might be watching or listening. We do deeply appreciate you participating on the digital platforms. It's why they're there, and it's why we work to advance to make them better so that your enjoyment will go up consistent with the quality of the programming, and hopefully we'll have it back up and running at 100% very, very soon. Speaking of 100%, I listened to this guy on the way in, and let me tell you, he's going gangbusters at 100%. It's Kenneth Weaver. He joins us from News Closet B on a day-to-day basis, twice an hour, and when it breaks, he's got the news for you. What is going on, Ken?
How about you boys?
You doing all right?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
I'm doing real good.
Better than the Ayatollah, baby.
Doing much better than the Ayatollah.
The Ayatollah is no Moa. I don't know.
I guess they got another one.
Well, they always do, right?
Yeah,
that's what they do.
But that other one, he's not doing very well.
They always get a new one. Ken, we have a couple of things to discuss, to include Jackson. Hey, it's good to see Jackson. Hey,
Jackson.
How you doing?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm good. I think I'm losing my voice a little bit.
Yeah, you sound a little deeper in register today. I noticed that when I spoke to you first. Jackson, Did you see Ken Weaver's social media post?
No, I did not.
Oh, wow. You missed out. He posted something a little earlier today about his reign. His reign as Nincompoops champion for this week. Yeah.
I've got to put that on the gram.
You'll see it if it's on the gram. He put it on the Facebook. That's for the old folks.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen anything that you put on Facebook.
I got to put that on the gram for you there, Brother Jackson.
Yeah, he's got
Twitter.
He's got the trophy there. He's got the crown there with him. He's talking about his victory from last week.
Man.
It's a big time.
It feels good.
I don't blame you, Ken.
I'm going to get that thing back.
I think Jackson had a rough weekend, Ken.
Thinking about that trophy?
Thinking about that trophy, number one. The Vols did not perform.
They blew another double-digit lead. Yes, let's move on.
My Sooners been doing that all year long.
I don't know. I see, y'all come on over to the Georgia Bulldog fandom side of things. You don't have to worry about basketball. I mean, everybody's like, hey, the Bulldogs are better. And then SEC play started, and nobody's talked about the Bulldogs again. And I don't have to worry about them anymore.
That's what happened to me.
Isn't that nice? I thought the Sooners were pretty good.
No.
Okay. All right, then. I mean, everything I know about basketball is heard from the other room in my house at Murphy-Lago, right? Because E watches it, and when Auburn's on, she's watching and she's screaming. And I don't think they're doing well either based on the cursing that I hear coming out of the other room.
Disappointing first year for
Stephen Pearl?
Yeah. Couldn't think of his first name.
Yeah. Well, son of Pearl. Not doing.
Oh, he's junior.
Yes. Bruce left. Junior took over, and lost a lot of players. That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of players, one way or the other.
They did.
You know what? But I'll be right there with you, fellas. I'll fill out a bracket. I'll throw my $10 into the pot.
Oh, boy, I'm going to do it. Well, no, I'm not going. I don't gamble.
Don't you?
Well, because I'll lose, so I'm not going to. But I'll put who I think's going to win.
I'm just a degenerate. I pay no attention to it. I'll throw $10 into the pot. I'll fill the thing out. It'll take me 4 minutes to fill the entire bracket out.
And Tennessee's the national champion.
Well, but then I have the audacity. It's like me getting mad on the golf course, right? I spent 14 years of my life. I lived 1.3 miles from a driving range, and I went twice in 14 years. But then I go out to the golf course and get mad that I'm not better at golf.
Yeah.
Well, come on, brother. I mean, what am I supposed to – I mean, it's right there. Same thing. I'll watch that tournament and get mad that I didn't do the picks better. And I'm like, I spent exactly 5 minutes on these picks. So what am I so mad about? Who didn't think that Butler was going to go all the way or whatever? Speaking of, because I'll pick a rando. I mean, you got to pick a rando to win, right?
I like those teams like Butler and Belmont and Northern Iowa, man. They'll get you if you're not careful.
Go Xavier.
They'll come right up and get you.
Let's go Creighton or Creighton. I don't even know how you pronounce it, but I'm a fan.
It's Creighton because Tennessee beat them in the tournament 2 years ago.
Really?
Yep.
When they were better at basketball.
They're still good.
Okie dokie. Did you watch your movie this weekend?
I did.
Did you?
I did. I watched like 7 movies this weekend.
And Cool Hand Luke was one of them.
Yes, it was the last one. It was last night. Actually, yeah, it was the last one.
I watched Hot Rod.
Great film.
It was a film from 2007, I want to say, starring Andy Samberg. And amongst others, Bill Hader was in it, Chris Parnell. And a lot of SNL.
Parnell is so good in that movie.
Parnell is very, very funny in that movie.
With the Calvin tattoo.
Oh, he's going to make AM radio great again.
Yes,
I choose to believe that he had relations the night before, which caused trouble in his urethra.
Such a good movie.
That's good scene.
It's so funny.
Ken, if you ever watch this film, just know what Murphy's telling you is truth. It's a bunch of funny people in a bad movie.
Oh,
the premise doesn't matter.
The premise is just,
the premise is essentially this guy's stepdad hates him, so he's going to save his life so he can beat him in a fight.
Yeah, he's got to raise the money to get him a new heart transplant because he wants to whip his ass. And that's what he said. He said, "You got to get better so I can whip your ass."
He beat him at the end, though.
That's funny.
It's pretty funny.
It's a really funny movie that really has no point.
Sometimes those are the best.
Fair and fair.
You're getting another Sandberg classic. This one has a point, though.
Why do you keep doing this? Jackson, I told you before the show, I thought this segment, the Matt Murphy Movie Mayhem segment, was designed to bring us closer together. I feel like it's separating us.
I watched this what I'm giving you this week last night, and it was much better than Hot Rod.
You watched Cool Hand Luke?
I did.
Okay.
All right. Way to go, Brother Jackson.
Jackson said it made him sad.
Really?
It's supposed to.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess it is kind of sad.
I mean, it's a sad movie.
Yeah.
When they break him.
Also,
tough.
didn't he only have like 2 years on his sentence?
Yeah, he was just cutting the heads off parking meters.
Also,
Yeah.
wouldn't that not be like you wouldn't get 2 years at a work camp for doing that today?
Not anymore, no. But back in the day, it was a serious offense. He was just, he's just cutting the heads off parking meters.
I wonder how many years he got extended for all the escaping.
We're just shaking it up here, boss.
You just keep shaking that bush there, Luke.
You go rabbit, you get a set of chains. You go rabbit twice, you get 2 sets. He had 2 sets of chains.
I do have to admit, I kind of got hungry whenever they'd eat all them beans.
Uh-huh.
I bet you prison beans were probably pretty good back in the day.
You think?
Yeah, you know they use big old ham hocks.
I don't know, Ken. I don't know. I don't know that I would trust 1950s era work camp food.
60s.
Was it 60s?
It was 67.
Well, now
That's
I mean,
when the movie was. I don't think it was set. I think it was set. It feels like it was set back in the 50s. You know what I mean? I mean, it was
60s.
the movie was. The movie was done in 1967. I'm not so sure that it was supposed to be modern.
You're talking about, it may have been back in
He came back from war, so and that was World War
gotta be
II.
the
So
40s.
I feel like it was late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah, late 40s, early 50s.
When it was supposed to be, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
One way or the other, we've got. We'll get to that probably in the 6 o'clock hour. We'll get a full-throated movie review from Jackson Williams. There was a joke there that I decided not to make. Movie review from Jackson. I'll give you my movie review as well.
Hot Rod, 5 out of 5 Murphys. Move along.
Nope. I don't know that we're going to get full Murphy on the Hot Rod. His outfit was pretty good though. It is a Monday edition of the Murphy Show. We'll get into nincompoops in the news coming up a little bit later on. We have a couple of guests to tell you about. Michael Lotfi is going to stop by via phone at 4:05 this afternoon. Lotfi is of Iranian descent. He is a self-described Persian, and he will talk about the Iranian-American population's reaction to what has happened over the last 48 to 72 hours. We will also speak with Jason Cole, a local story that I'm not letting go. Jason Cole, the mayor of Laverne, says there are new developments in his effort to get better and more representation on the Nashville Electric Service Board. We will talk to Mayor Cole at 5:05 this afternoon. Before either of those two gentlemen join us, we'll be joined by David Corlew. Y'all know David as the former manager of the Charlie Daniels Band. He is also the key man at the Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project. And David, when he normally is on the show, we're talking about the Journey Home Project and everything they do for veterans. David went up to Washington, D.C., and he was in attendance. I think that was in the East Room, if I'm not mistaken. He was in attendance as President Donald Trump offered the Congressional Medal of Honor to several recipients, one posthumously, and I believe the other two, I might have this backwards. There were three. One was posthumous, and the other two were still with us to receive their award, or it might have been the other way around. One way or the other, David was there in the White House at the time of the ceremony, and he will join us at 3:45 this afternoon to talk about that experience, exactly what that was like. You on the phones all afternoon long, 615-737-9986. It is truly my favorite thing that I do. I don't know what I would do if I couldn't communicate with the folks directly, either via the super text line or via the phone lines. I absolutely love hearing where you are on issues that are of importance to the people of Tennessee, the people of the United States of America, and the people of the world. And obviously, our main topic today is of importance to all three, and that is the presidential decision to go into Iran. I will not rehash everything that we know by now, but what we know by now, as per the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. Now, initially, Donald Trump said that part of the goal was regime change. Pete Hegseth tells us that that is not his primary area of focus. His primary area of focus is attempting to stabilize that region by removing the very source of so much strife within that part of the world and across the globe regarding the funding and the handling of terrorism. We are told that it will be a 4 to 5 week commitment by the United States of America. Question, does anyone believe that? We are told that there will not necessarily be boots on the ground, although we are prepared to do so if necessary. We are told that while we will not rule out boots on the ground, it is our expectation that once we have now created this vacuum, that it will be filled by more stable leadership in Iran. Take that for what it's worth. I understand that there are 1,000 talking heads on social media, podcast, talk radio stations, on all of the major networks, News Nation and hashtag Never CNN and Fox News and all of the MS Now and all of the rest of them. And all of them want you to believe that they have a complete and total understanding of not only what's going on, but what is going to happen. I'm here to tell you that that is not true. None of these folks know what's going to happen, including the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, including the President of the United States, Donald Trump. What they have done is they have sat down and made, a lot of folks want to go back and talk about campaign promises and all of these types of things. I want a president of the United States that is malleable enough, that can examine the information that is sitting before him, and that can, if justified, move and maneuver based on new information, can change his tactic based on new information. That's all well and good, but what you have to do is explain to me how you got from there to here. All I would expect, I have an appreciation for no new wars, that concept, that basic governance philosophy. I have a great appreciation for no forever wars, and obviously I think the American appetite is in that direction, plainly. No one likes the idea of Americans being at risk of death. No one likes the idea of American soldiers being killed, and we have 6 of our military personnel, at least as we know it right now, that have been killed in this engagement already. We do not spill American blood. We do not spend our American treasure, if you will, or no, at least we shouldn't, lightly. I do not get caught up in this nonsense of, well, I was of a position 5 years ago, and I must be of that position today. The world dynamic changes. What I do expect is for you to explain to me how you got from there to here. And I'm not entirely sure I've been explained that quite yet. Now, I understand fully that last year's military engagement against Iran was to once and for all obliterate their nuclear ambitions. And basically, at its most fundamental, what we're being told is that we demanded a commitment from Iran that they would not continue what we believed them to be doing, and that is restarting their nuclear program. That they had already done so, that we had intelligence that they had done so, and they refused to stop it, and they refused to commit to not starting it back up. And that was the basic reason why we went over there and took out the Ayatollah. Celebrations have ensued worldwide. 2 things can be true at the same time, and I'm gonna stop here, load up the phones with your comments, and we'll continue to the discussion because I do have to take a break. 2 things can be true at the same time. I can be happy that the Ayatollah, who was a brutal, murderous tyrant, a religious fanatic that denied human beings their basic fundamental rights and would slaughter them if they asked for them. I celebrate that. I celebrate the removal of that individual by any means necessary. And if it means death, that's fine. If that makes me a bad person, that's fine too. I celebrate that. We can celebrate that at the same time, be very concerned about where this goes from here. Because while Donald Trump has proven me wrong in the past, I wait and I'm trying to figure out how he's going to prove me wrong here. And that is not to get us into a quag where we have to sit and wait and be on guard in an area of the world that's way, way far away from the United States of America. More to come, 26 after the hour on Super Talk. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is your one-stop shop for all things men's health, particularly men's sexual health. I'm not afraid to say it. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 locations are there to serve you, and one is soon to come. I'm hearing rumors about Murfreesboro, but that's a little down the road. Right now, you've got Clarksville, you've got downtown Nashville, and you've got Cool Springs. Those 3 locations, one telephone number can get you an appointment at any of those locations, and that appointment is going to cost you less than $100. For $99, you walk in, and whatever's going on in your world, whether it's just basic energy levels or perhaps this has manifested itself in the bedroom, they will walk you through an initial examination. They'll get some blood work from you. They'll talk with you about what's going on. This is a qualified and licensed urologist that you're talking to at this point. And then they're going to figure out exactly how to proceed next. Everyone is different. Every plan should be tailored specific to the needs of the individual that's standing in the office at that time. That's what they do at the Tennessee Men's Clinic. That's what sets them apart. That's why they grow by leaps and bounds, month to month, year to year, because Evan Bass has been doing it the right way. Whether it's testosterone or some other issue, they can identify it at the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com or call today, 615-208-9090, 208-9090. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to speak with you for a moment about Eurofix. Obviously, we lost Aaron Stokes recently, and it has been a family tragedy, a tragedy for us at Supertalk 99.7 WTN, and for all that knew him. They understood the level of commitment that Aaron has put into making Eurofix what it is, and the dream goes on, Eurofix goes on, and their commitment to quality, by all means, goes on as well, honoring the legacy of the man that started it all, Aaron Stokes. They have clean, welcoming shops where you can actually sit down, a free 15-minute no-wrench inspection to share what's going on. At Eurofix, you get a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all repair work performed, with a rental car available at every appointment. 5 separate locations to serve you: Nashville, Franklin, Murfreesboro, Belmead, and Mount Juliet. Make the call that so many others have made. If you own a European vehicle, you owe it to yourself to go to Eurofix. 844-EUROFIX, that's 844-EUROFIX, or online at myeurofix.com.
3:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast traffic updates in 5 minutes. And right now on Capitol Hill, Secretary of State Marco Rubio addressing the ongoing military operations on Iran that started over the weekend, defending the president's decision.
There absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately come after us. Why does Iran want that ballistic missile capability? What they are trying to do, and have been trying to do for a very long time, is build a conventional weapons capability as a shield where they can hide behind. If we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. The president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties.
Now, they just updated the casualty count. It's now 6 U.S. service members who have died in the operation. Stay with Super Talk 99.7 WTN for continuing coverage on air and online. Here in Nashville, a new bill aims to stop businesses from using algorithms that tailor prices to individual shoppers. Channel 4's Braden Ross says the bill's sponsor, Nashville Democrat State Rep John Ray Clemens, says these systems can quietly charge different customers different amounts for the same thing.
The ban on algorithmic pricing wouldn't apply to insurance or services like Uber or airline prices. Clemens says he's gotten a lot of support for the bill from both sides of the aisle. The legislation is still working its way through the legislature, but if it passes, it would likely go into effect in July.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Brake tapping is building, and now we've got a crash in the way. It is 65 northbound before Wedgwood Avenue. We've got one at Woodbine, Nolensville Pike. This one just north of Thompson Lane, then over by the airport. Donaldson Pike, just north of I-40, working a wreck there. East and westbound 40 is slowly turning into a parking lot now between downtown and the eastern split. I'm Ken Weaver.
USS does not only provide foundation repair, concrete leveling, and waterproofing services, they provide the most important thing, peace of mind. Obviously, we're still thinking about and getting over some of the damage done by this 30-year storm that recently descended upon Middle Tennessee. United Structural Systems has helped thousands of families and businesses restore their homes since 1994 from foundation damage. Oftentimes, that comes from the kind of severe weather that we see year after year, and we just saw about a month ago. If you've noticed something going differently in your basement or your crawl space, if you've noticed a moldy or mildewy smell, or if you've noticed structural changes, you need to call USS. They are your structural experts when it comes to your home. They're not there to gouge you. They're not there to upsell you on anything. They're there to solve problems. It's what they do. And their community involvement extends beyond just your home. They've helped Habitat for Humanity for 10 years running now. Whether it's volunteering on a Habitat build or helping homeowners recover after a storm, they're here to help their community. Go to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com. Tell them I sent you to United Structural Systems. Homeowners simply trust USS. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Already so many of you weighing in on the Super Text line. We appreciate that. Give us a call as well. 615-737-9986. Remind me, Jackson, you know how horrible I am at this. Remind me to, we'll try to get out to break at about 45 minutes after the hour, 15 until the top of the hour, so we can have a nice 5 or so minutes with David Corlew, who's in Washington, D.C. Then Michael Lotfie's coming up in the 4 o'clock hour to give the Iranian perspective. A lot of Iranian Americans are very excited. A lot of Iranians around the globe are very excited. What with the death/removal of the sitting Ayatollah, the supreme leader, if you will. A number of concerns. I mean, I can be happy about that, and I am happy about that. I'm glad when tyrannical despots who are willing to slaughter their own people to maintain their power. I'm happy when those people are removed from power. This can be true, and I still can be concerned. I'm concerned about mission creep. Look, I was born at night, but I was not born last night. And when you move from, hey, it's going to be a strike, an in and out, to, well, it'll be 4 to 5 weeks, to, well, we can't guarantee you that there will not be boots on the ground. If the Secretary of War, and I'm not anti this operation. I want you to understand, I'm very neutral on this operation right now. I'm hopeful that this works better than I can possibly imagine. Sadly, we've seen this before. Donald Trump was not at the helm. Donald Trump was not the big boss. And maybe Donald Trump navigates this differently than those have in the past. But the Middle East is also not Venezuela. And nation building in the Middle East has never gone well. It's never gone well. So I think it's perfectly reasonable to support the president and to give the president the benefit of the doubt and to recognize that he has good people in place to affect this change as quickly and as seamlessly as possible with a lack of loss of American life as much as we possibly can. We've already lost 6 to this operation. Is it worth it? Well, if it is worth it to realize long-term stability in the Middle East, I would say yes, but I don't know that we can achieve that. So obviously, rational, reasonable, humanitarian-minded people agree with the idea of removing a brutal dictator that not only materially but also actually killed people, right? He funded those organizations, Hezbollah, Hamas, the 2 primary ones, that killed people with reckless abandon. And yeah, this has something to do with us being friends with Israel, but that's not everything. It has to do with the stability of the region. It has us wanting to moderate some of the positions that some of these other nations have, like Saudi Arabia, for example. And Saudi Arabia is no friend. They're no friends with Iran. So we shall discuss this throughout the course of the day, and we shall see. Michael is first up for this show this week. Hello, Michael.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, I think you're missing a big point, too. Listen, you say we're friends with Israel. What are you talking about? God created, I think, America to help preserve and save Israel from being destroyed. You got to understand, those people hate Christians. Jesus said in the last days, you will be hated, and the whole world will want to kill you. We have to stand up. Every president the last 4 years have tried to do something about this guy. They all failed. You should be jumping for joy, doing jumping jacks, that he finally did something to take this guy out. Don't complain. You're complaining a little bit.
Michael, I'm welcoming the conversation, and I appreciate the conversation, but try not to tell me how to think. How about that?
Well,
I don't tell you how to think.
Well, you can if you think I'm totally wrong. You can say that. I give you that right. We have that right in America. This is America, not South Korea.
Yeah, but you started your. I mean, but let's have a conversation.
You're kind of feeding me off. You're kind of acting like we did something wrong.
Excuse me, Michael. I was about to say before you interrupted me. Let's have a conversation as friends, not as enemies.
I just want everybody to understand the last 4 presidents failed at this, getting rid of this. This guy is
including Donald Trump.
Right, his first term. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he finally did it. So
well, no, I just want what I said. I stand by that. I celebrate the removal of the Ayatollah. I celebrate the concept of stabilizing the region. I celebrate the idea of providing the opportunity that people have in Iran today for the freedom that they can seize upon if they so desire it. I am also concerned, and I think it's a rational, reasonable concern that we are setting ourselves up to be involved in a conflict in the Middle East for a lengthy period of time.
Well, God wants us especially to protect his people, Jesus Christ, the Jews, number one. So we have to protect Israel by any means whatsoever. And God's got the plan. God's in control. You know that too, right?
I understand that, Michael. But God also gave us free will to think about these things on our own and to evaluate them based on the circumstances that we see. I mean, saying Michael, what I would suggest to you is saying that God has a plan is a conversation ender, not a conversation starter. So if your position is God has a plan, then you'll let God figure it out. God has a plan, but I still lock my car.
Well, God has to put people in certain situations, like he put.
Do you understand do you understand what I'm saying, though? I mean, do you lock your car, Michael?
What's that got to do with?
Just work. I mean, you say God has a plan, but do you lock your car? I mean, why do you lock your car? God has a plan.
Well, that has nothing to do with
Satan. It has everything to do with it. If you would just listen to what I'm trying to say, but I don't think you are.
Well, just appreciate what we're doing, and we should have did it 40 years ago.
Well, I understand that, but saying that God has a plan isn't the end of the conversation.
It's in God's hands, everything. Your life.
Of course it is. So 9/11 was part of God's plan. So 3,000 Americans died because God wanted them to.
Well, God can't control how.
Oh, wait a minute. Michael, God has a plan.
God gives man free will. God gives man free will.
Well, now you're changing it.
God's going to save his people. If you're a Christian, you're going to be saved.
I fully understand that, Michael. I thank you for that. I'm not your enemy on this subject. I promise.
I know.
I promise you. All right, I'll see you later. 46 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to speak with you for a moment about the wonders of the Glock store. You've heard me talking about the Glock store for quite a bit now. They've been around for a minute or two. The wonderful folks over at the Glock store, they have very, very special thoughts and feelings about that Gen 6 model that they've got brand new in the store, and I absolutely love it. And they invite you to come over and see it, right? The Gen 6 is available. Now, I know that they have it at the Shoot 270 rooms because I've seen it there, and I've been told that Dan and his team, that they're excited about getting you in and seeing that. Now, I don't know if it's for sale because they have so many people that have been pre-ordering that oftentimes they run out of the 19s or the 17s or the 45s. But you can find out more if you swing by the Glock store and ask them about these incredible deals that they have going on. As a matter of fact, speaking of, We've got some very special things that are going on in terms of training. This is called Force on Force training, and I'm going to be telling you more about these training techniques coming up in the next couple of days into the next week. But it's in their Shoot 270 indoor ranges, one-on-one instruction, private shooting rooms, low light, no light, monthly home defense drills. They're taking it to a new level, right, with their new Force on Force simulation exercise. And it's starting later on this month. You'll be hearing a lot about this. The Glock store arms you in so many different ways, and they're about to arm you with some personal self-defense tactics as well. Shoot270.com. That's shoot270.com to find out more, or Glockstore.com for the one and only Glock store.
We just learned more U.S. service members have been killed in Operation Epic Fury. We've got a full report coming up at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Just a real quick side note, and then we'll talk with our good friend David Corlew. Several of you have noted you don't seem very confident. I'm not anything other than observing what's going on. I'm confident in our President of the United States of America. I'm confident in the people that we have in leadership positions. I'm certainly confident in our military. I'm also confident that I don't want to see a long-term war in the Middle East. I'm confident that I don't want to see boots on the ground in the Middle East. I'm confident that I do not believe that would serve our long-term interest here at home. But I also have faith in our leadership that they will be able to thread a needle and facilitate the goals of this operation without necessarily putting permanent boots on the ground for the foreseeable future. So it's not a matter of me being confident. I don't know. I trust our leadership. I'm going to put my faith for the time being in Donald Trump. That doesn't mean that we're not going to talk about it. That doesn't mean that we're not going to have a discussion about it. That just makes sense. I'll tell you who makes sense. That's David Corlew. He's a good friend of the show. He's with the Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project and we appreciate him for all that he does. And I loved seeing David Corlew at the White House earlier today, and he's here to talk to us a little bit about that. What's up, David? How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I'm sitting here watching it snow. God didn't warn me of that. But
it's part of the plan, man. It's part of the plan.
Yeah, I'm glad I brought an overcoat, but
how was it today? I mean, you were there in the White House during the Medal of Honor ceremony.
I was, and not obviously, but profoundly, it was an honor to be invited. The reason that I was invited, I don't show up at the White House often at all. But what happened is that a gentleman that I met last year named Chris Edmonds, his father was a World War II veteran and hero, and has a very compelling story. And they have worked for quite a few years to get him in a position to receive the Congressional Medal of Honor. And Trump had called him about 6 months ago and told him that it was going to happen. And what happened for me is that the Pentagon was going to fly Chris, who is the son of the World War II hero, Roderick Edmonds, was going to fly a few of the family members up, and they wanted their whole family to go. So one of our board members called, and I couldn't think of any better way to support our veterans as to get this family up to Washington. So Journey Home Project reached out to them and put together a transportation for them, and we got them all up here, all 33 of them. And we got them to D.C., and it was a wonderful emotional ceremony. And I think a big part of it was the fact that obviously what's going on in the world today, and I just heard that we lost more soldiers. But there was a Roddy Edmonds, the one I'm connected with, was World War II veteran, and then they presented a Vietnam veteran who is still alive. He received his medal today, and then along with the family of not Terry Richardson, but Michael Ollis, who was in the Global War on Terrorism, 25-year-old young man that put his life on the line for a multinational force, a soldier from Poland, and saved the soldier's life and gave his own for it. And it was just a brilliant emotional ceremony.
Yeah, I was about to ask. I mean, can you put us in the room? Because watching on television, it was very emotional on TV. I can't imagine being in the room, that it wasn't just exponential in terms of tears and just the emotions that filled the White House.
Well, and you probably better than anybody, and all of us, around our great nation is feeling the tension. It's in the air. We're at war. Are we not at war? With all of that, as the preface for our lives today, and then to have these great Americans there. And what was great, Matt, was that Chris, who we helped get to Knoxville, brought his grandkids, and to see those young kids sitting on the front row, seeing their grandfather, hearing the stories, and they all had hats that had been signed by Donald Trump, and they had challenge coins, and the innocence of those children. 20 years down the road, they'll never ever forget the trip. They were at the White House. Get the experience.
Well, I'm glad. I'm just so thankful that we have organizations like yours and people like you, David, that make sure that good people, that heroes, are recognized, and that their family members have the ability to see it.
Well, there were so many warriors in the room. There's such a presence of the military here, and we have another ceremony tomorrow at the Pentagon, and for the same fallen heroes, as well as Terry Richardson, who's still alive, and but it's just a scary time in our country. And,
it is.
Boy, it just felt the room just felt right. President Trump was very eloquent in what he had to say, and was brought a little bit of joy in the room. Had some laughs about him, doing some remodeling there at the White House, but just enough to lighten it to a point where everybody could put their handkerchiefs down and enjoy that moment, and being in the presence of greatness. And that's what happens when you get in the room with. And there was other veterans that had received the Congressional Medal of Honor, and just to be in the presence of greatness is just it's pretty incredible. It's what we work for. It's what Journey Home Project works for, and that is to support our veterans in any way we can, as well as their families. And this was a pristine moment.
Well, and so well executed by you and your team, and just well done all the way around by the President of the United States on down. It was a very special moment, David.
Well, and I say this about politics. There's so much about war that is political, but when you're in that room, for me and for my brothers and sisters that were there, it's like it just feels all of that. The political stuff goes away, and the emotion and the celebration of life and of the fallen heroes. Just it puts all that to the side, and you get to see the essence of what this country was built on, and these young men and women that sign that check that's payable all the way up to giving your life. And so you're able to let all the other stuff kind of drift to the side for a moment and let it lay, let it be, and then experience the courage and just the greatness of the United States military.
David, God bless you. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us describing the moment and the ceremony, and thank you for being there for our veterans. We appreciate you, and come on by and see us when you get home, okay?
I will do that.
All right, brother. All right, take care. Be safe up there in D.C. There's David Corlew with the Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project. He was instrumental in making part of that ceremony happen and making sure that people got up there to see it. And I just wanted to spend some time with him. I apologize for being a little bit late. Just after the top of the hour, news comes now on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And we have now learned 6 U.S. service members have been killed since Operation Epic Fury inside Iran began this weekend. U.S. Central Command confirming the death toll about an hour ago. The department also verifying more than 1,250 targets in Iran were hit, including 11 Iranian ships, all of which were destroyed, per CENTCOM. Moments ago, Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke to a press gaggle explaining why the U.S. took action when it did.
Because they could hold the whole world hostage. Look at the damage they're doing now. And this is a weakened Iran. Imagine a year from now. So that had to happen. Obviously, we were aware of Israeli intentions.
By the way, the names of the deceased soldiers have not been released to the public as of yet. Iran has been firing back since Saturday's surprise attack that killed the Ayatollah. And meanwhile, here in Nashville, Fox 17 covered a celebration among Iranian Nashvillians who are thanking President Trump.
Many of these Iranian Americans who told us they fled to the U.S. after atrocities under their home country's regime thanked President Trump, the U.S., and Israel.
No other country stand up till this happened today. And for the first time in 47 years in a history, somebody actually came to rescue us. Thank you, President Trump. That's all I can say, that in the bottom of my heart.
At another park over the weekend, anti-war protesters with the Party for Socialism and Liberation gathered chanting, "Shut it down." The group said it opposes any U.S. military action in Iran, arguing taxpayer dollars should be spent on families and education, not war. Also in Nashville, Channel 4's Braden Ross says legislation's advancing in the General Assembly that bans companies from using personal data to determine how much you pay for something as opposed to somebody else.
This scenario might sound familiar.
You can just say something in your house, and the minute you open your phone, you see an ad for that.
Well, that happens because your devices are constantly keeping track of your data, what you search, what you buy, what you like. But what many people don't know is that data could actually change how much you pay for things.
You could be charged more for the same good than I would be charged at the exact same moment. That's just inherently unfair.
It's called algorithmic pricing. Companies take your data, like your shopping history, and use AI to determine how much you'd be willing to pay for something. And then they personalize your price based on that.
So the exceptions would remain for certain financial institutions and regulated rideshare fare calculations. If approved, these new rules would start on July 1st. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, we've got to crash Berry Hill. This is going to be 440 eastbound right there at 65, and then 65 northbound before Wedgwood Avenue. Some of the slowest traffic right now is going to be eastbound 440 over to Nolensville Pike, and then eastbound 24 past 440, and northbound North Loop up to the northern split. I'm Ken Weaver.
Boy, oh boy, everybody's ready to be mad today. That's all good. It's a Monday. It's March 2. It's episode 988 of our visits together, and I'm appreciative of almost every single one of them. Jackson Williams is behind the glass, making sure that everything that comes out of our speakers sounds as good as humanly possible. Ken Weaver's in News Closet B. He gathers headlines, delivers them twice an hour, and when it breaks. My name is Matt Murphy. I am your humble correspondent for the next 3 hours or so until 7 o'clock. We'll hand off to Mark Levin at that time. Discussing, obviously, Iran. We want to give you an opportunity to speak on this matter. We're trying to do so. I've ticked everybody and their brother off. I don't know how. Except, well, I mean, stop it already, writes 5222. I'm sorry, I read the wrong one. Maybe you should start by leading by example. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth since you started your show today. And there are more that I can't find right now because my little page won't come up. So anyway, but I shouldn't expect the computer in this room to work. So bottom line is this. None of us know where this is going. I support the President of the United States and his administration. I'm going to put faith and trust in this administration. I recognize the importance of stability in the Middle East. We understand from a humanitarian standpoint the importance of seeing the Ayatollah, the former supreme leader, be removed by death or otherwise. I don't care. I really don't. He is a tyrannical, murderous despot who is willing to kill his own people. He is a fanatical despot, and he needed to go for a long time. We cannot possibly conceive of the manner in which those folks had to live their lives. Now, one could argue that that's no reason to go into war. One could argue that that is very much a reason to go into war. One way or the other, I don't believe that we're there yet. I would say that there are both things can be true. That I can join in the celebration of the removal of the Ayatollah and at the same time be concerned where this might lead us. I don't understand why everyone's angry at that position. Maybe it's that I'm not pretending like so many other people. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen either. None of you. None of us. And frankly, that's the danger and the frightening aspect of doing it. The last few times we've tried to do this, it did not end well. It typically doesn't in that part of the world. But we got a new guy in the White House, and I'm willing to give it a go, and I'm certainly satisfied with the results thus far. To speak on this, our good friend Michael Lotfi, he is with Americans for Prosperity in Tennessee, but he also happens to be of Iranian descent, and I am certain that he's been celebrating, considering that those people have an opportunity for a life of freedom and liberty as opposed to fear and oppression, which is what they had been living under for a long, long time, many, many decades. Michael Lotfy joins us on the program. Hey, Michael, how are you?
Hey, baby. How are you, Matt?
I'm great.
Good. I do want to clarify. I'm not speaking on behalf of Americans for Prosperity today. Just speaking on my own behalf. As you said, as a second generation American, my father fled Iran during the horrific Islamo-fascist takeover in the 1970s, and so I only exist today because of the situation in Iran. And I just kind of want to, if you don't mind, Matt, open with my sincerest, I'm going to try not to cry here, I'm sorry, my sincerest prayers for the families of the soldiers that lost their lives earlier. It's just so heartbreaking, and we're so thankful. Sorry.
That's all right. No, I'm appreciative of your emotion on this subject.
I've got a friend who she's a rock star, Matt. She's an Air Force pilot, and her son is as well. And they've she had him kind of younger, and so they actually got to serve in the military together. And she just finished her last deployment, and we were talking 2 weeks ago, and she was telling me that her son just got called back, and I told her to please tell him that he's an absolute hero to everyone in Iran and everyone outside of Iran, and we're just so thankful to all of them for their sacrifice for us. And it's not only for us, of course, it is for the world as a whole, because I think what people fail to realize, and myself included, Matt, when I was younger and first got involved in politics, I was very much so what you would call an isolationist. I thought that America just needed to stay out of everyone's, business, and we needed to worry about us first and so on. And then as I got older, and I'm not, accusing anyone who holds this belief still of being immature, but as I got older, I realized that America does not exist in a vacuum. We are the vacuum. And as long as we desire a world where Western values and America leads what the world looks like, that will always have to be the case. We will have to be the vacuum. And that comes with uncomfortable conversations and uncomfortable situations like the one we find ourselves in today. And I promise everyone listening, Matt did not pay me to say this, but he's right. I mean, Matt, you're 100% right. We don't know what happens next. And you would be foolish to think that you do. I do believe that the administration has a plan, but none of us know what the hell it is.
And nor should we, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right? I mean, who are we to think that we're owed those details? But I can tell you this: for the first time in 50 years, the Lotfy family all across the planet. I mean, we've got family in Canada and San Diego here in America, Nashville, Dubai, Paris, Italy, Germany, Australia. That's what happened after the regime. They've scattered families all across the planet. But for the first time in 50 years, we all have hope, and it's more than we've had. And I can't express enough to those who don't seem to understand the fact that President Trump didn't just start a war. We've been at war with this regime for 50 plus years, but he's sure as hell about to finish one.
Well, I mean, it's hot. It's hot, right? I mean, the reality is that we've got 6 Americans that are dead that weren't dead 5 days ago. I'm not saying I disagree with the actions. I'm saying that he took a diplomatic conflict and escalated it into a military conflict, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. My main concern, and I'm not arguing with you, Lotfy, but my main concern is that are there leaders in Iran ready, willing, and able to step up and fill that vacuum that has been created with the death of the Ayatollah.
Yeah, and so to your point about diplomacy, again, we don't know. We're both, to some degree pontificating here, but I genuinely believe that Trump gave the regime a true option, but Trump is also not ignorant to the past. And the past being that even if you strike a deal with this regime, they've never followed it. Just like North Korea didn't follow their deals, and North Korea has a nuke now, right? So Trump wasn't ignorant to the fact that you're not going to accept some weak deal, and it's not just about the nuclear deal. It's also about missiles. It's about proxies. Because if Iran is the number one funder of terrorism in the world, and as long as this regime remains in place, and as long as this regime is dedicated to not changing its ways, not only on nuclear, but also on missiles and also on funding proxy terror groups throughout the region that threaten and terrorize our allies and our bases and our assets, then there was no deal to be had. And so he went, I think, with good and true intentions to say, look, here it is. You guys are either going to cut this crap out forever, and that's the deal we'll sign, or there is no deal. And so I think that's what happened. I think he had every intent to really, truly try to practice diplomacy, but there's no room for negotiations with a regime that has proven that it won't follow whatever, minuscule deals that it has signed in the past. And I think Trump is also very aware of the fact that even if he did ink a deal, at the end of the day, the Democratic administration that comes right after him is just going to shred that deal up in the first place. So if Trump really wanted a legacy, if we really wanted to change the Middle East and have a real shot at world peace, that only comes with getting rid of this regime. Now, to answer your question about what's going to fill the vacuum, man, I think we'd be kidding ourselves to try to even answer that. I'll tell you what most Persians want is we want the Shah back. We want him back. He is the name that everyone has been, we want his son back, I guess I should say. But he is the name that everyone has been screaming. He is the photo that everyone holds up. He is who we listen to and are inspired by. That is what we want to return to. Whether or not, the powers that be on the world stage are orchestrating that, or they're orchestrating something else like they did in Venezuela, where they just kind of kept the regime in place and, just put a more friendly figurehead in charge of that existing structure, we don't know. And I hope, our hope is that we have a return to the Shah and he has promised to lead constitutional monarchy and like a system that you have in, the UK. That's what everyone wants, or not everyone, I can't say everyone, but that's what the majority of people who are seeking freedom and peace want to see. They want to see relations with the U.S. and Israel normalized, and they want to return to the 60s and 70s where, you looked at pictures of Iran and it was like looking at Paris.
That's right. And I appreciate that, and I want the same. Have you noticed Lotfi, there seems to be a generational schism. There seems to be, and I would put myself in this category too. I'm 52 years old, and I think you think about this a little bit differently because obviously you're more intimately familiar with the goings-on in Iran. But those that remember the toppling of the Shah in, 78, 79, they remember the taking of the hostages. They remember the Iranians bombing in Beirut. They remember our U.S. Marine barracks being bombed and killed. I think 241 people died. And all of those resulting consequences. Those of us that remember that understand the danger that this regime has been for so many years. There's another younger brigade that, and maybe it's not just younger people. I don't know. It feels like people are already deciding you've got to be all in or all out on this. I just feel that the situation is far more subtle and nuanced than saying that this is all, because I've got people hitting me up hard saying, this is all about Israel. And I do not believe that this is all about Israel. I believe that we are working in concert with Israel to stabilize that region, but I don't believe that that is Donald Trump's sole purpose here.
What does Israel have to do with the regime that shouts death to America on a normal basis and a regime that literally
I'll tell you what, I'm going to answer for the people. The people that are screaming this would say, if but not for America's support of Israel, they wouldn't be shouting that. Is what?
Yeah, just tell those people, Matt, that it's a lot quicker for them to just say I hate Jews than it is to come up with whatever conspiracy theory it is that they've got cooked up. I mean, it's a lot faster for them to type that than it is to extrapolate on their bizarre conspiracy.
I mean, there are people. There's a growing number of people, and I don't know what to say to these folks that believe that every decision that America makes has to run through Israel. I do not believe it. I don't believe it for a second. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
I think I told you in the past, I can't deal in the realm of conspiracy.
Right.
And that's what, these folks are. It's sad. Honestly, it's quite pathetic in my opinion. We have a chance at true peace in the Middle East because my people, the Persians who are crying for freedom right now, they want peace with Israel. They want peace with the U.S. Like, if you look at the photos, I think I've sent you some of the photos. We're flying Israeli flags and American flags and the old Persian flag because, some of us actually desire world peace. And, I think that, what Trump realizes is that in these situations, peace absolutely comes through strength. There are people out there who believe that peace means pacifism. And I got news for you. It doesn't. It doesn't. You only attain peace by setting the cards on the table the correct way. And, and also I think that, at least for the left side of this argument, those on the left, they just desperately do not want to see an Islamic regime that is basically, for all intents and purposes, communist, topple. That's what's at the heart of their argument on the left.
Well, and there's some of these leftist knuckleheads that I don't understand, and there's some on the far right, the Groypers and all those folks. I think
it's a horseshoe theory, man.
Yeah,
they literally
meet
they're so
at the
extreme
ends.
that they're the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I just wanted to get your take on it, Michael. I know that it's a happy weekend. It's a happy day. It's really a happy day for all of us who love freedom and liberty around the globe. And I appreciate you sharing some thoughts with us. And we'll get together very soon as this progresses over the next few days and weeks.
Yep. Talk to you soon. Love
All right,
you,
brother.
man.
All right, take care. There's Michael Lotfy joining us. Michael from his experience with AFP, but he's also of Iranian descent, and I wanted to get his take on what his family, and he has extended family that's still over in that part of the world. It's 26 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, folks. It's Matt Murphy for Better Water, celebrating 55 years of service as a two-generation family business right here in Middle Tennessee. I've experienced Better Water myself. They came out to the homestead. They tested me for sulfur and iron and chlorine and bacteria, E. coli, everything. And we're having a reverse osmosis unit put into our home as a result of our desire to just make sure that everything is as it should be, that we're removing all of those nasties out of the water. And we got it coming, and I encourage you to do the same thing. They have specialized filters, UV lights, water softeners, you name it. They do it. They're based out of Smyrna. I mentioned that. They're the same guys that treat the hospital. They treat the coffee shop, and they can treat you as well. BetterWater.com. That's BetterWater.com. Or give them a call. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you. 615-355-6063. 355-6063 for Better Water. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Efficient Heating and Cooling. My friends at Efficient have helped me out so much in the new house, and I so appreciate them doing so because we had some heater issues, and they came out, and now we have a brand new heater and air conditioner. Thank you to Efficient Heating and Cooling. Absolutely love these guys. You talk about efficiency. This morning, they pulled up to my home right when they said they were going to be there, right at about 8 o'clock. And Hudson and the rest of the crew got out, and they got it done, folks. They replaced the unit, and they were done just after lunch. Thank you to Efficient Heating and Cooling. Thank you for giving us that level of peace of mind. We want to head off costly repairs. We're going to maintenance this unit. We're going to treat it with kids' gloves, and you're encouraged to do that as well. And we did everything in our power to avoid having to replace it. That's what they do at Efficient Heating and Cooling. They keep their overhead low. They don't charge you overtime on nights or weekends. And when it's time, it's time. They're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem, and they can help you find the right unit for you and your family. EfficientHVAC.net. EfficientHVAC.net or 615-784-4424, 784-4424.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes, and we have learned 6 U.S. service members have been killed since Operation Epic Fury inside Iran started this weekend. U.S. Central Command confirming the death toll this afternoon. The department also verifying more than 1,250 targets in Iran have been hit, including 11 Iranian ships, all of which were destroyed, per CENTCOM. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Marco Rubio insists timing was of the essence.
No matter what, ultimately, this operation needed to happen. That's the question of why now. But this operation needed to happen because Iran, in about a year or a year and a half, would cross the line of immunity, meaning they would have so many short-range missiles, so many drones, that no one could do anything about it.
And he acknowledged Israel's plan did play a role, but stressed there was an imminent threat to the U.S. and global security.
So two things, and two things can be true. Number one is our mission and our focus is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities and their ability to manufacture them, as well as the threat posed by their Navy to global shipping. That's the objective. That said, we would not mind, we would not be heartbroken, and we hope that the Iranian people can overthrow this government and establish a new future for that country. We would love for that to be possible.
Stay with Super Talk 99.7 WTN for continuing coverage on air and online. Meanwhile, in Austin, Texas today.
This has been difficult for our community, devastating to the impacted families, and challenging to our APD family.
As Police Chief Lisa Davis giving an update on last night's mass shooting that killed 2 and injured around a dozen inside a crowded bar.
This is a complicated and large crime scene. Our priority is finding answers and the motives behind this crime.
She says they're still considering the possibility of terrorism as a motive of the suspect, a 53-year-old naturalized U.S. citizen who was born in Senegal and was wearing clothing that referenced Allah and a T-shirt that referenced Iran. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Madison got an injury crash due West Avenue just west of Gallatin Pike. Berry Hill a wreck, 440 eastbound at 65. And then we've got 65 northbound right before Wedgwood Avenue, a crash there reported by police. Murfreesboro Pike at Bell Road and another one Nolensville Pike just north of Thompson Lane. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hey, folks, it's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk with you for a moment about Defend Systems. Defend Systems is a life safety and security consultation firm. Brink Fiddler and his team, so good at what they do. And what they do on a daily basis, they come into your home, or they come into your school, they come into your place of business, they come into your church, anywhere that you feel like you need good, solid instruction as to how to act and react in the unlikely event that something negative comes into your life. They're there for you. They do active shooter response training, workplace violence prevention, site survey and threat assessment, security improvement consultation, rapid intruder emergency action plans, all available and customized to your facility, your group of people, really your way of life. They are a life safety consultation firm, but Brink's not here to make you freak out. He's not here to try to scare you. The likelihood of something like this happening to you is very, very low, but it's not zero, and that's the whole point. Hope is not a plan. It's time to get trained up with Defense Systems. So if you're a decision maker at any of these types of places, I encourage you to call Brink today. 615-236-6484, 236-6484, defensesystems.com. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy. Genesis Diamonds has quickly become one of the largest dealers of luxury pre-owned Rolexes in America, and they're having a huge Rolex event this Friday and Saturday. You've always wanted a Rolex, or are you looking to add to your collection? You can't miss this epic two-day sale featuring a stunning new selection of these hard-to-find watches, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans. Genesis has all of the popular models as well. I'm telling you, folks, they're in pristine condition, and a lot of times they're still in the box, never worn before. And during this event, you can take advantage of special financing up to 5 years. With the purchase of any luxury pre-owned Rolex at this event, they're also going to offer you a pair of free 4-carat lab-grown diamond stud earrings. These are incredible, they're beautiful, and they're absolutely free. If you already own a Rolex, bring it to sell or trade. Get top dollar for that item. Do not miss this chance to get a luxury timepiece that you've always wanted. It's this Friday, this Saturday, and only at Genesis Diamonds, your home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes. Green Hills and Cool Springs. See store for details while supplies last, and on approved credit. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Genesis. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I've spoken enough. It's time for you to talk, right? 615-737-9986. Obviously, big story of the day. The reaction to activities over the weekend have been to the extremes, to include death in America. Y'all, there's never been a more important time for us to exercise our Second Amendment rights as American citizens, and also to be ever vigilant. That there are people that have been allowed into the United States of America that don't like this country very much. See Austin, Texas. Mass shooting, obviously motivated by the Iranian strikes. I mean, it's pretty clear to me. I don't want to assign motivation to an individual that is now DRT, dead right there. But there it is. This individual, he was wearing a shirt that said "Property of Allah" in the aftermath, and apparently had an Iranian T-shirt on as well. and he killed people before the police were able to arrive and neutralize the threat. It's a dangerous time, especially considering the numbers of people that have come into the United States of America, many of whom have come here illegally, some legally, that don't have an appreciation for this country, don't have a willingness or a desire to assimilate into our culture, want to bring their culture with them. And I'm not against your culture, but if you come to the United States of America, your culture is all fine, well, and good, but it is subservient to the manner in which we do things here. In terms of our belief in freedom, our belief in liberty, our belief in living a life of our own choosing. And if you can't manage that, then maybe you should not come to America. Who has been holding I think it's Stephen. Stephen is on the line with us. Hey, Stephen, good afternoon.
Brother Matt, just let it roll off your back, man. Just let it roll off your back. Don't worry about it. Everybody's upset right now, you know. You know how it is.
I just don't understand, Stephen. And this is all I'll say about it, because people are like accusing me on the Super Text line of having. I don't have thin skin on any of this. Saying, well, it's God's plan is not a conversation starter; it's a conversation ender, and that's fine if that's where we want to end the conversation. I'm fine with that. But what I said that apparently riled people up is that two things can be true at the same time, that I'm supportive of this administration. I have faith in this administration. I have a confidence and a belief that it was the right thing to remove the quote-unquote supreme leader of Iran from power. And at the same time, I'm concerned.
Keep your head on a swivel.
I'm concerned about where this all is going.
Keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, amen. Amen. Amen.
Keep faith in God. Let's pray. Let's pray for peace. Let's pray because, just like you said, man, there's been a lot of people that's been pouring into this country, and we know their boogeyman is dead, and we don't know what's going through their minds right now. And all we can do is turn to Jesus and pray and pray for help. But at the same time, keep your heads on a swivel and be ready, you know, and that's it, man. Protect the children and just be smart. Don't let fear overtake you. I think we're going to be fine. I don't think this is going to take no 4 to 5 weeks. I think it's going to be over a lot quicker. Israel really, I mean, they did a job, dude. They did a job, and everybody's still trying to figure all this stuff out, and there's going to be a lot of conspiracy theorists. Trump's doing this to cover up the Epstein files, and whatever the excuse is going to be for the day. I mean, this is to see those Iranians on the news praising Trump. We need more stuff like that to keep these crazy leftists. The people that I'm more worried about are not people from Iran that have came over here. It's the people in our country that are lunatics.
Radical leftists.
Those are the ones we have to watch out for.
Agreed.
Yes, sir.
Agreed.
But, yeah, keep faith in God, but also everybody out there, listen, this is Tennessee. We don't play games.
Well, and I don't know if anybody, I've got a couple of people on the, and thank you, Stephen, for the call. A couple of people on the Super Text lines like, do you lock your car? Why'd you ask that question? Have y'all never heard the phrase, trust in God, but lock your car? That was the reference. That, you talk to me about what God's plan is. Well, it's the old joke. The floodwaters. I mean, y'all have all heard the joke. I won't go through the whole thing, but the floodwaters are coming, and some people come to a man's house and they say, "Hey, get in the truck. There's a flood coming. We need to get you out of here." And the guy says, "No, I trust in the Lord. The Lord will provide." And then a little while later, the floodwaters come up a little bit, and somebody comes by on a boat, and they say, "Hey, get in the boat. The flood's here. It's going to be bad." And he goes, "No, I trust in the Lord. The Lord will provide." And then floodwaters come up, and they overtake his house, and he's on the roof of the house, and a helicopter comes by. And they say, "Get the ladder on the helicopter." And he said, No, I trust in the Lord. The Lord will provide." And then the guy drowns, and he gets to heaven, and he says, "Lord, I had such faith in you. And here I am." And the Lord said, "Well, I sent a truck, a boat, and a helicopter. What else did you want me to do?" I understand the concept of it being God's plan, but I also understand that I don't understand what that plan is and never will. And anyone that presupposes that they do, I'm not there. Congratulations if you feel like you've got an understanding of what God's plan is, because I do not pretend that I do. I trust in the Lord, but I still lock my car at night. Let's talk to Gordon next up. Hey, Gordon, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for calling.
Really, the only question you got to ask in the whole grand scheme of things is, do you believe Iran has or is very close to a nuclear weapon? If you believe they are, there's no doubt that they're going to use it when they had it. And so if you're against what's going on right now, you're basically guaranteeing the death of millions of people. Not sure where it would be. Would it be Israel? Probably. Would it be somewhere? Absolutely. The people over there, the regime that just got toppled or is in process of being toppled, they're crazy. And they're going to use whatever they have. If they got a nuke, they're going to use it. So if you're against what's going on, you're partially responsible for the death of millions. Neville Chamberlain. Trump is not going to be this century's Neville Chamberlain.
Well, and the way that I understood it, and I think I'm saying the same thing in a slightly different way, Gordon, the Trump administration blew up their nuclear operations a year ago. And they went to Iran at the table of negotiation and said, you need to guarantee us and show us that you haven't restarted those operations. And Iran would not do that. And for that reason alone, the Trump administration felt justified in doing this.
Correct. Trump will not be this century's Neville Chamberlain. You had a nutcase over there saying, as soon as I get it, I'm going to use it. And he said, nope, I'm not going to let that happen.
Well, I think it's succinctly stated, Gordon. Good call. Thank you for making it. 46 minutes after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WT. And man, oh man, there was a caller on the line that said Trump was a pedo. Well, that's unfortunate that we lost that call. Yeah, I know that those folks are out there that, oh boy, Donald Trump's playing 28D chess, and he's just doing all of this to cover up his involvement in the Epstein files, despite the fact that there's never been a sliver of evidence that he was involved in any illegal activity in the Epstein files and wasn't involved in Jeffrey Epstein, other than, like many, many other rich people, he walked in his orbit and knew of Jeffrey Epstein for any number of years. Donald Trump was one of the few of them that actually booted him out of his world, specifically Mar-a-Lago in 2006. But be that as it may, Mike will have to suffice in Old Hickory. Hey, Mike.
I'm here.
Yeah, you're on, Mike. Go right ahead.
Well, very good. I appreciate that, Matt. First of all, I just want to ask you, do you really think Trump has to go through you to make his decisions? And then number two, did the stock market drop 2,000 points today, like the media said all weekend? Did oil prices go to $100 a barrel that the media said today? And that we were going to have thousands of troops killed today due to Donald Trump? Did any of that happen?
Oh, are you talking to me? No.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Matt.
The answer is no.
Okay. Now.
Hey, Mike. Hold on. Did I get it right?
Are you going to go on your destruction campaign with your little switch at your radio station that if anybody disagrees with you, you will cut them off? If they don't hey.
Mike, on my radio, I don't speak for anybody else. Let me answer to it.
There you go. Cut me off.
Let me answer it. Let me. You asked a question. Am I going to do that? I'm trying to. Can I answer you there, Mike?
Iranians around the world happy
I'll stop
Trump killed the Ayatollah, and killed him. Got rid of him.
Disagreement goes to the front. Disagreement.
You said you agree with that. You're happy with that. You're happy with that. And you agree with that. But then on the other side, you said what you're disagreeing with Trump is doing.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't, Mike.
You
I will.
two ways,
Mike.
Matt. You go two ways.
Mike.
You always go
Mike.
ways.
Mike, hush for a minute, and I'll
Why
explain
do
it
you
to you.
always go two ways?
Mike, you're talking.
Are you in favor of freedom
why
or
do you,
evil?
Mike, why do you do this? Why do you do this?
Because you do it.
I'm just gonna, Mike. It's my show.
You and I are going to be in a contractual debate. Why do you hate America?
You're just a sad old dude, man. I'm trying to help you, and I don't know what to do for you. I just want to, Mike. I'm just trying to talk to you.
For the switch.
I'm
waiting for the switch.
Mike, I'm just trying to talk to you. You just have to be quiet for just a second so we can have a conversation.
See?
If you keep,
go.
Mike,
why can't you be quiet?
Mike,
why can't you listen? Why can't you listen? Why is it always you, Matt, that always have to tell your listeners, you better listen to me, be quiet, be quiet? Why do you do that? Do you have an ego problem, Matt?
Are you done?
I'm just asking you, why do you have an ego problem? Why does Trump have to go through you to get things done?
He doesn't.
Is he getting things done?
He is.
Are the Iranians around the world celebrating?
I'm sorry. I couldn't understand you. You got a little marbles in your mouth. There's probably the alcohol.
Did the stock market crash today?
We covered this ground at the beginning of your call, Mike. Move forward, or I'm going to terminate the call.
Yes, flip the switch, Matt. Flip it.
Disagreement goes to the front of the line, Mike. Remember that.
You know what, Matt?
Remember that.
Why don't you go somewhere and just take a deep breath and just relax. Let Trump do what he's doing. He's defeating evil, and you can't handle that. You can't handle it. Let Trump defeat evil. Let him do it. Just relax, Matt.
Okay. You telling me to relax is a hoot.
Just relax.
All right. Go.
Evil.
It's almost 5 o'clock, Mike. Time for another drink, buddy. You done? Oh, now you're no. He's listening to himself. If you start listening to yourself on the radio, Mike, that's when I terminate the telephone call. I did not. The two things that I said at the beginning of the show are not contradictory. What I said was that I am happy that the Ayatollah is gone. I'm happy that he's dead. He was a murderous, brutal dictator, and that I'm glad for the people of Iran. It is theirs to seize the freedom and liberty that they can enjoy if they are ready to take that up. I am glad that these things happened. I'm glad that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. I am trusting in the Trump administration that they are measured in their approach, and I'm going to trust the Trump administration will do the follow-up in the right fashion. At the same time, I can be all of those things and still remain concerned that in the Middle East draws you into long, drawn-out conflict where you had intended not to have long, drawn-out conflict. And we've seen this historically. That's all. And so I am hopeful. I am thankful that this president engaged in this activity, and at the same time, I, like many of you, am reasonably concerned about where all of this leads, because America is not, I won't say they're not ready. We're ready for anything. I do not believe that America would support a long, drawn-out conflict in Iran, where we stay over there for years attempting to build democracy. That they either want it or they don't. They either can do it or they can't. And Iran is not Venezuela. It's a different circumstance altogether. And nor is it Iraq. And Pete Hegseth made that clear earlier today. I've got that clip for you in just a moment. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 53 after the hour. The calendar has flipped. It is now March, and before you know it, springtime is here. Are you looking your best? I mean, it's shorts season right around the corner, right? And before you know it, you'll be showing more of that body, more of that skin. Are you a little concerned about the places that you've not been able to get the weight off? Maybe you're not fitting into those spring and summer outfits the way that you would want to fit into them. Well, Contours LLC is your one-stop shop. Friends, we can get to a certain age where you can eat right, you can exercise, and you still won't be able to get off the weight in some of those problem areas. That's where Contours comes in. $99, your Belly Buster special. Keith and his team can help. I want you to make this call today. I did. I went into Contours. I enjoyed it. You can go right into the same room with the Ultra Slim Body Contouring that I went into. You can enjoy the same red light therapy that I enjoyed, and you will see results. I saw 2.67 inches around my midsection go away in the first treatment. What about you? Over 2 inches, or it's free. Contours LLC. ContoursLLC.com. That's ContoursLLC.com. But give a call. Make the appointment. $99. Belly Buster package. 615-236-9960. 236-9960. Friends, when I moved into the new place, I knew that I would need homeowners insurance. Obviously, you got to have the homeowners to protect that which protects you and your family. Well, I only thought of one place to call because I know that King & Associates does it the right way. I've been talking about them for a while, and now I'm living the life because when I called Emery at King & Associates and I said, hey, Emery, I need some homeowners. He said, I got you covered, Murph. Oh, what else do you need? I said, I think I'm good everywhere else. You know, we've had a long-standing relationship with our auto insurer from back in Alabama. And he goes, man, he said, you need to let me check that out. I bundled that up. I can save you money. And lo and behold, we got better coverage, all right? Better automobile coverage for $300 a year less than we would have otherwise. And we bundled it with our homeowners, and we're saving money. And we are totally covered. Friends, they can offer you maximum protection without breaking the budget. It's all at King & Associates Insurance. Call Emery or any of the other teammates, and I'm telling you, they'll treat you the right way. They'll shop all of the different insurance plans, and they'll find the right one for you. 615-321-8121, 321-8121, or tkinginsurance.com. King & Associates Insurance, where smart money shops.
5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Major combat operations continue in the Middle East against Iran. Iranian forces are also carrying out retaliatory strikes across the region. CENTCOM now says 6 U.S. service members have died in action. U.S. forces recently recovered the remains of 2 previously unaccounted for service members from a facility struck during Iran's initial attacks. 18 other service members were also injured during operations. At the Capitol, ahead of a briefing, congressional and intel lawmakers known as the Gang of Eight, Secretary of State Marco Rubio says President Trump made the right decision to strike Iran, killing Iran's supreme leader.
Because they could hold the whole world hostage. Look at the damage they're doing now. And this is a weakened Iran. Imagine a year from now. So that had to happen. Obviously, we were aware of Israeli intentions.
Democrats are working to push a vote this week on a bipartisan resolution aimed at limiting President Trump's war powers. This is ABC News.
Here in Nashville, Fox 17 was there as Iranian Americans gathered at Bicentennial Capital Mall State Park this weekend to celebrate the U.S. and Israeli actions.
Iranian Americans in Nashville described the U.S.'s mission into Iran as surreal.
We could not even think that this will happen in less than 24 hours for them to take over and kill 40 top leaders of the Iranian regime. So I'm so speechless and just so happy to be living in today.
We've been asking for this help for pretty much 50 years and we never got it. And we got it. And in a matter of 10 hours.
Hope for change is now closer than it's been in decades for Iranians who fled a regime they say was run through oppression and murder, especially in the last 2 months.
In another part of Nashville, anti-war protesters condemned the attack, arguing the U.S. should avoid a further military action. Over at the State House, Tennessee lawmakers pushing a bill that bans companies from using personalized algorithmic pricing. The proposal targets pricing systems that adjust what you pay based on your personal data. House Democratic Caucus Chair John Ray Clemens telling Channel 4.
What this legislation would actually do is, for the first time in Tennessee, is prohibit personalized algorithmic pricing, saying that companies aren't allowed to use your personal data to try to optimize their profits.
If approved, this ban would take effect July 1st. The Nashville Public Library has announced a tentative reopening date for the main library downtown. The building has been closed since June after a fire caused part of the parking garage to collapse. Library officials now say the plan to welcome patrons back is Monday, March 30th. Most public areas will be open except the heavily damaged conference center. And that's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. crash, 65 northbound, right before Wedgwood Avenue. I mean, it has northbound 65 looking like a parking lot there. So does eastbound 24 past 440. Speaking of 440 eastbound, you got a crash right there at 65. And then Murfreesboro Pike at Bell Road. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Halfway home. Boy, oh boy, day is flying by. The show is flying by. For those of you just in your automobiles, out of your places of business, maybe you're on the road, headed home. It'll be there when you get there. Pack your patience, as they say, because the roadways are what you might expect at 6 minutes after 5 o'clock on a Monday. March 2nd. It is our first Monday of the month. We're pleased to be here. By the way, pleased to have U.S. Pest back as our hourly and presenting sponsor of the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Our friends at U.S. Pest are so great at what they do. Y'all know the story. J.K. Erica, I mean, they're good people. They're right here in Middle Tennessee. They have grown this company by leaps and bounds. I love what they do. They are patriotic Americans. They love these United States of America, and they hate bugs. USPest.com. That's USPest.com. I'll speak more on those guys coming up in just a little bit. Your calls and your thoughts on the situation involving Iran, 615-737-9986. A lot of opinions on it, and I would love to hear yours. Secondarily, we've got Jason Cole coming up at 6 o'clock now. We're moving that just a little bit. At 6 p.m. or just after, we'll speak with Mayor Cole from Laverne about meetings that are going on tomorrow regarding NES and potentially getting some representation in some of the outlying areas that don't currently have it with the Nashville Electric Service. Right now, it is Bonnie's turn. Hello, Bonnie. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Great. I hope you are.
I'm doing okay. I just wanted to respond to the little guy that was talking to you that was so rude on the phone. And I know that we all have our own opinions. Men and women are a little different, but even if you're drinking some alcohol, which I have before, and I'm not mean like that. So I think that man just wanted to be mean. You know, we all got our own opinions about stuff, but there's no need of being so mean to someone. And I would like to say the thing about the war. You know, I'm a female. What do I know about the war? I know that I've met some people from Iran a long time ago, very peaceful people, and I'm sure that a majority of them are really happy that that happened. I mean, it's terrible you got to kill someone to make things better, but I guess I'm for it. But just don't like to hear someone mean on the phone. And
I deserve it. I'm probably meaner than I ought to be, Bonnie, so I probably deserve it sometimes.
No, I think that you have a job, and your job is to get us riled up and to get us going, and that's what makes the show.
Well, Mike is certainly I will say this, he is certainly a polarizing figure. Anytime that Mike in Old Hickory calls us up, we have a generous amount of people that are laughing and thinking it's a hoot, and a lot of people that just hate him and say they turn their radio off when he calls. Look, I'm very serious when I say that we take all comers on the radio show. It takes a lot for us to ban a caller, and we did with Mike for a little bit of time. Tried to have him back. Tried to let him offer his opinion. I interrupt him sometimes when he is mischaracterizing things. He claims that I've said things that I've not said, and I should just let it go and just not worry with it because people hear what I say. Yeah.
And I just want to suggest something, please. And I think this would be fun for your show. So, kind of a little light bulb come on there. Remember the show called The Gong Show?
I do. Chuck Barris.
Hit the bell, and that meant that you were out.
The big gong. Yeah.
So the ones that you don't like, just hit the bell.
Jackson, we need a gong. There you go. There's the gong, Bonnie. How about that?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I know that I'm not that interesting because I don't have all the big words to talk about, and I'm a peon, but I mean, how can your show be your show if Bonnie doesn't call in?
Well, I love your calls, and I appreciate your calls. And, Bonnie, I think you're a hoot, and I think you've got a wealth of information, and I think you sell yourself a little short. And we want you to continue calling and continue to share your opinions with us because we love them.
Can I say one more thing?
Of course.
It's just nothing. If a friend of mine, Donald, is listening, I would like to say hello to him because he's had some medical issues. And people pray for him. I think he's trying to be stronger, and I hope he is. And then say hi to my friend Pat. He loves your show, so he's probably listening.
Well, hello, Pat. And who was the other one, Bonnie? Donald?
Donald.
Well, hello, Donald, and hello, Pat. All right, gong Bonnie off of here. Bonnie, you're going to be...
But that's with love.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's in honor of Bonnie's suggestion that we gong people.
Yes, sir.
We felt like Bonnie should be the first to gong-ee.
Yes, sir.
Gonger.
Gongi.
Is it just for callers?
Gong-ee. What? You're gonna start gong?
See?
Do you think Bonnie knows what she's done?
So let me ask you a question. Are you going to start? You can't gong me. I'm the dadgum. I'm the gonger. I'm the gonger. You're not the gonger. I'm the gonger.
I control the gong.
I tell you when to gong. If you're the guy with the big axe and you've got to chop the heads off, there's a guy that has to tell you when to go. And I'm that guy, and you're the executioner. And Ken Weaver's Ken Weaver's the pastor. He's praying for our eternal souls and doing the Newsboys.
Oh,
on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, we're out. Ken, are you coming with us? Or you're staying at home base this time around for the boat show, or are you out?
I can come out there.
Come on,
Ken's coming to the boat show.
Let's go.
I made it very clear that I don't go anywhere without Ken Weaver. He's my protection.
Are they going to let us do the show on a boat?
I don't think we're on a boat. I think there was a technical snafu that prevented boat. But we will be around boats.
Will we be near that big fish tank with all the big bass and catfish floating around?
I certainly hope so.
Maybe they'll let me do a live report from one of the boats.
Look, we're going to get you a wireless, and we're getting you on a boat, Jackson. Never you fear. I would also like for you to bring your swimwear, Jackson, because if we're close,
floaties.
I just got a mental image. Oh, Jackson, the floats. There's catfish all around, and Jackson's
my floaties and my goggles.
He's noodling.
He's
noodling the catfish.
I'm noodling, boys. I'm noodling. You better watch. You're dangling. Catfish will come over there and snap that thing.
Oh.
Talking about his fingers, of course. We're out at the boat show this Thursday. All right? Yeah. Thursday at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, or Nashville Fairgrounds, I should say. Y'all come out and say hello to us. Hopefully, I'm trying to schedule Jake McCalman to come out there with us so that we can talk about his Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway bill at the Nashville Fairgrounds.
Right
Isn't
there
there a,
on
right
the
there.
site.
On the spot.
Special guest?
Yes, we're looking for special guests.
No, isn't there already one?
I don't know. We're waiting on them. We have word that Mayor Freddie O'Connell has availability on March 5th, and we invited him to come out to the fairgrounds, and I've not yet heard confirmation. So I'm working around that. You know what all of this means with McCalman and Freddie O'Connell dangling out there, that we might have to roll a Thursday sans Sapicki. I just don't want, you know how Scott gets when he gets crowded. He didn't like that. We'll work all that out on our own. 15 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. David, it is your turn in Smyrna with a thought on Iran. Hello, David.
Hey, how you doing? First of all, Mike is proof positive that sometimes childhood is a perpetual condition. As far as what's going on in Iran, I have never been one of those Trump sycophants who thinks that he can do no wrong, but I've always been one of those substance versus style people with him. I'm never a fan of the style. I like the substance. So not necessarily the things that he says, but the results speak for themselves. And I think as far as what's going on in Iran, that regime is so weakened to the point that I think now was the obvious time to make that push to try and decapitate that regime and let the Iranian people figure it out for themselves. And obviously, I definitely don't think that Iran has done themselves any favors by lashing out at everybody else in the region. It's long been an open secret that the Jordanians and the Egyptians collaborate a lot with the Israelis. They're pretty tight when it comes to intel and stuff like that. I think they drastically miscalculated. And, I think it's right to ask questions about what our end game is here. And, like most other people, I absolutely don't want to see, the 3rd Marine Division with boots on the ground in Iran. I think anybody who doesn't think there are boots on the ground there, you're kidding yourself. There's probably definitely special operations types in Iran. But I really think that this is, cometh the moment, cometh the man. And I think Trump was the man to do it.
Here's how, and I agree with everything that you've just said, David, but here, and this reflects on a couple of comments that I've gotten on the super text line. Like John in Lawrenceburg wrote in and said, what circumstance do you think would require American boots on the ground in Iran? I believe Israel would be on the ground in Iran if anyone is. I don't think the Israelis are going into Iran. I don't think that would end well, but maybe with our support. But to your point, I agree that I don't think, why do we have to abide by this we break it, we buy it kind of thing? The people of Iran deserved better. The people of Iran have an opportunity to get better. But they have to take charge. They have to organize. They have to, we can assist, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to assist through military presence for the foreseeable future in that nation. Because those things just don't tend to end well. So they have to demand it on their own at some point, and I would encourage that to start sooner rather than later. I just what tends to happen in these situations though is that chaos erupts, and as chaos erupts in the Middle East, or as chaos erupts in an area where we have done some damage, we feel it necessary to stabilize the chaos. And when we begin doing that, the stabilization only increases and increases. This is what happened in Iraq, right? And I don't pretend that Iran is Iraq. I know that there are two different nations. And Pete Hegseth spoke on this forcefully earlier today, and I appreciate him saying so. But, that's just my only fear. I appreciate everything we've done to this point, though.
Yeah, and, I think when you look at, obviously the Shah was no bargain for, a lot of people in Iran, but when you look at how modernized they were, when he was running things. And then, you look at Iran's neighbors who have all decided to greater or lesser degrees to moderate their stances. You've got Dubai, which is, a world-class tourist destination. Bahrain, world-class tourist destination. There's so much history in Iran. There's so much, I'm a chef by trade. So there's great food. There's all this historical and cultural stuff in Iran that, if they were to moderate and have even a semi-pro-Western government, I think that they could become very much like their neighbors. They could have a tourism industry like Jordan does, like the UAE does, like all these other countries do. I just think, obviously they need to pick the right people.
Well, and
obviously it can't be the mullahs 2.0, and it can't be, socialist leaning whatever.
My man in the White House swings big. And this is a big swing. There's no question about it. And thank you, David, for the call. This is a big swing. He's done swings like this in the past. I mean, the strike last year was a big swing. Venezuela was a big swing. He's not afraid of that. Everybody else just talks and talks and talks and talks and talks. Donald Trump does. Is it with risk? Of course it is. Anything worth our time, sweat, and toil is going to come with a certain amount of risk. It's a matter of how much risk we're willing to take and what our priorities are. It's a big swing to try to swing Iran to a moderation on the level of Egypt or Saudi Arabia. Those are not perfect countries. No one's saying they're perfect countries. They're actually pretty, comparatively speaking, they're pretty liberty limiting, especially if you're female, but that's a different subject for a different day. Stabilizing and moderating the viewpoints of that nation would be a net positive for the Middle East and, by extension, a net positive for the United States of America. So say what you will about it, agree with it or disagree with it, the man swings big. And it remains to be seen whether that swing will be successful. I mean, I remember him doing this in his first term with the embassy in Israel. Everybody said that nation would descend. I mean, that the entire region would break out into civil war. It didn't happen. Time and time again, he proves the predictors wrong, which is why what I said at the beginning, I stand by it now. I give him the benefit of the doubt. But that does not mean that we do not talk and discuss our concerns on the matter, which is what we're doing today. 23 after the hour on Super Talk.
Operation Epic Fury update straight ahead. Also, a new bill aims to stop businesses from using algorithms that tailor prices to individual shoppers. They may charge someone for the same thing, but differently to someone else. We'll tell you about it at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Well, I don't know about anyone else, but I'm confused. Ken Weaver will unravel the confusion and make it make sense. Coming up in mere moments on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And a good afternoon. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope the drive home's going okay. A little spitting rain earlier today.
Yeah, it was spitting out there.
It was a little spitting. Ms. Beasley almost got her a critter in the backyard, Ken.
Oh, yeah? What kind?
We don't really know. Black critter, ran along the ground, dark colored, wasn't a cat, maybe a groundhog, maybe a dark colored squirrel. I don't know.
Interesting.
I know. So we're going to
live near a body of water?
No, not to my knowledge.
Huh.
I know.
I don't say it could have been like an otter.
Could have been an
river otter.
Those river otters, they're cute and all, but they'll wreck your goldfish or koi pond. I'm to understand. I had a friend who had a koi pond.
Yeah.
Damn river otter ate every single one of them, like in like 4 days.
Goodness.
Bad news, man. So we don't know, but yeah, spitting outside, and we hope that you're making it home on the A-OK. Jerry is next up. Before we get to the news, hey Jerry, what's going on?
It's Gary.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Gary. How are you?
No, it's fine, man. I'm fine. Real quick, as a retired veteran, I do appreciate the speech given by Pexit, when he was talking to the press, and of course put that one journalist to rest, so to speak. But that's the exact language that we want. You go to war, you go to win, you don't neutralize anybody, you kill them. And you finish them off, they surrender, and that's it. And that's what we're doing in Iran, and those people who take over and end this nexus point, this apex point of terrorism. Every time you see a veteran with a missing arm and leg, always remember, that's the guy who did it, the one that we killed.
It's a good point, Gary. Good point. And I'm glad you called. And I mean, no, you're right. I mean, yeah, you're on subject. We got a lot of road noise there. I'm sorry for that, but oftentimes that happens when we're in our automobiles on speakerphone. I don't begrudge you being on speakerphone in an automobile. I understand that you have to be hands free, but just a lot of road noise. But thank you, Gary, for the call, and thank you for the point. You're right, obviously, about the veterans. They sacrificed so much, some all, in order to try to secure that region of the world. And there are bad guys that want to do bad things because of our way of life. Because of our way of life. And we need to push back on it. 615-737-9986. We'll suspend this. Talk nincompoops coming up in a moment. Some would say that we already have been. We'll do that right after this. Jason Cole, Mayor Cole's coming up in the 6 o'clock hour at Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast, traffic in 5 minutes.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Fighting in the Middle East escalating. Today, the U.S. and Israel continue to hit targets inside Iran, and Iranian forces launching drone and missile attacks across the region. A CENTCOM spokesperson says 6 service members have now been confirmed dead so far. 18 U.S. service members were also seriously wounded in the combat operations. ABC's Matt Rivers is in Amman, Jordan, and says the region is preparing for a long conflict.
You're listening to what the president said earlier today. He's talking weeks, if not months, as long as it takes is what he said. You've got the Iranians on their side saying that they're preparing for a long war against the United States. And so if you're the leadership of Saudi Arabia, of the United Arab Emirates, of Bahrain, of Qatar, of Jordan, you're hunkering down right now, expecting that this conflict is going to go on for a long time.
President Trump defended his decision to strike, saying Iran was very nearly under threat from Iranian missile capability. The uncertainty also leading to higher crude prices globally and higher gas prices here in the U.S. This is ABC News.
Stay with Super Talk 99.7 WTN for continuing coverage on air and online. Here in Nashville, a new bill aims to stop businesses from using algorithms that tailor prices to individual shoppers. Channel 4's Braden Ross says the bill's sponsor, Nashville Democrat State Rep John Ray Clemens, says these systems can quietly charge different customers different amounts for the same product.
The ban on algorithmic pricing wouldn't apply to insurance or services like Uber or airline prices. Clemens says he's gotten a lot of support for the bill from both sides of the aisle. The legislation is still working its way through the legislature, but if it passes, it would likely go into effect in July.
And after months of cleanup and repair, the Nashville Public Library's main branch finally preparing to reopen. A fire last summer forcing the downtown building to close when the garage partially collapsed. Crews report that 99% of materials were saved, only needed some light cleaning. The library aims to reopen its doors March 30th, though no events will be held that day. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, the Gulch, we've got a crash 40 eastbound at Demonbreun. Then in the Belmont area, crash 65 northbound before Wedgwood. Then Berry Hill, crash 440 eastbound at 65. On the West Loop, 40 westbound there at 65. And Sylvan Park, a crash 40 westbound at White Bridge Pike, Briley Parkway West, exit 204. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. It is March. It is almost a spring. It is bug and it's bug season. I almost said, sometimes I say it in a particular way that gets me into trouble. But here's the bottom line. The bugs, they're making baby bugs, right? That's what they're doing right now. And all of those baby bugs are going to come in and take what's yours if you allow it. You need to stop it. Protection begins with U.S. Pest. J.K. and Erica Brister, they love the United States of America, and they hate bugs. The purpose of pest control is very simple: preventing insect and rodent-borne diseases. Besides, these are nasty creatures. Full-service pest control, termite protection, and crawl space service offered at U.S. Pest. And they are as good as anybody, better than anybody in the business. Friends, I would encourage you to contact U.S. Pest. For your monthly pest service, you need U.S. Pest. Spiders, stink bugs, ants, ladybugs, mice, silverfish, roaches, and much, much more. Always a 100% money-back guarantee. They handle termite protection as well with preventative and corrective services available. Every home in Tennessee is threatened by termites. U.S. Pest can stop all of that. Contact U.S. Pest today. Friends, 590-1260 is the number. 615-590-1260 or online at uspest.com. U.S. Pest. Strongly recommended by me, Matt Murphy. Call them today. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We have nincompoops to get into and nincompoops to discuss, always. 39 minutes after the hour. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. I am joined by the one and only Ken Weaver. I'm also joined by Jackson Williams, he of 1,000 nicknames. We appreciate you. We're also joined, before we get into nincompoops, by Pete Hegseth. I promised that I would play this. And look, the Trump administration is steadfast that this is not going to go how other conflicts have gone.
To the media outlets and political left screaming endless wars, stop. This is not Iraq. This is not endless. I was there for both. Our generation knows better, and so does this president. He called the last 20 years of nation-building wars dumb, and he's right. This is the opposite. This operation is a clear, devastating, decisive mission. Destroy the missile threat, destroy the Navy, no nukes. Israel has clear missions as well, for which we are grateful. Capable partners, as we've said since the beginning, capable partners are good partners. Unlike so many of our traditional allies who wring their hands and clutch their pearls, hemming and hawing about the use of force. America.
All right, that was I cut that off too quickly. I apologize. You get the idea. This is not Iraq, according to the Secretary of War. This is something different. This is not starting a nation-building concept. This is quite the opposite, although I guess this is nation-breaking then, which is fine. Once again, I'm supportive and I'm hopeful and I am trusting in the Trump administration to do the right thing. I'm also supportive and hopeful and trusting that you two have not stolen my stories. It's time for Nincompoops in the News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Nincompoops in the News.
All right, by now you probably have realized if you follow Ken Weaver on the social media platform, Facebook, you've seen him with his big trophy already. There he is with his trophy right there on the television, on YouTube TV, on Facebook, on the Twitter machine, on the Twitch. I've never been over there, on the Rumble.
Keep gloating, Ken Weaver.
Oh, look at him! Listen, he is taking a victory lap when he gets an opportunity. He ought to do it. I like it. Ken, how does it feel to be the champion?
It feels great.
It's my least favorite. It's my least favorite thing that you do, because people listen on the radio, they don't know what you're doing. They don't know.
Brother Jackson was cutting the champion off.
Yeah, he was trying to cut Ken off there. Jackson, you got anything to say to the champion?
Don't get comfy.
All right, don't get comfy. All right, on these Mondays, Matt Murphy always picks the batting order, right?
I thought it was the winner.
Ken Weaver gets to pick the batting order.
No, I thought I got to pick the batting order on these Mondays.
It's brother Ken Weaver because he's got the trophy.
All right, Kenneth.
I'm going to go first. Then Murphy and then Jackson.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'm already in protest.
Let's see if I've got a Ken.
Yes, sir.
I got story A and I got story B.
Yeah.
I got two. No, a lot of times I don't have one, so I'm happy that I have two.
Yeah. All I've got to do is have one. Because I get to go first.
All right.
Hit it. All right. This is from Channel 4.
Dadgummit! Dang it!
A man was charged with vandalism after he reportedly defecated on a Nashville sidewalk.
We're all good.
And blamed it on dogs. On February 27th, the Metro Nashville Police Department responded to a disorderly subject near the 1500 block of 4th Avenue North. Police received a complaint that a person later identified as 28-year-old Roderick Gaines defecated on the sidewalk, then continued to get in and out of the passenger side of a white Jeep. When officers arrived, they found Gaines on the sidewalk next to the Jeep. Police said the Jeep had no tag and the VIN was covered. Gaines reportedly told them that it was his Jeep, and then provided his information. Officers also found feces on the sidewalk near where Gaines was standing, as well as on the suspect's jeans. And when asked about that, the affidavit says Gaines said, well, there's all kinds of dogs walking around.
Oh, boy.
Police said the feces on the sidewalk was the exactest same color and consistency as the feces on Gaines' jeans.
Oh, he pooped himself.
Oh, my gosh.
Gaines was taken into custody for an outstanding warrant. Indecent exposure and vandalism. Reportedly would not allow officers in his car to check the VIN, and police said the Jeep remained legally parked there at the scene.
Jackson, you ever blame a poot on the dog? Come on,
yeah.
Come on. Okay, but as long as you admit it, that's I have to.
And Ken, you said I get to go next.
No,
correct?
you didn't. He did not.
Yes, he did.
And he did not, Jackson.
I heard, Ken, you said I get to go second,
He
right?
has selected the order.
I said Brother Murphy, then Brother Jackson.
He has selected the order.
But he said it's opposite day, so it's me and then you. Because I know what story you're going with, and I've got it pulled up here, and I want to do it.
It's unfortunate that you will not be able to do it. Look, I know we're fishing from the same pond. I thought Ken was about to steal both of ours. This from WKRN. So I have a different.
Son of a biscuit eater.
I have a different local story. This from WKRN. Jackson, I'm sorry in advance. You know I love you.
No, you don't.
You are an honest man. You admitted to blaming the poop on the dog, and I've done the same. But look, never the poop. Don't blame the poop on the dog.
You blame a poot on Mrs. Weasley or Munford?
Munson. Munson.
Little Munson.
I feel like Munson has.
I've met them both. Yeah, I would blame it on Munford.
Yeah, more robust.
Little fella.
More believable. Nashville, Tennessee. Local nincompoop. A 39-year-old woman was taken into custody Sunday morning after an officer spotted her running naked amid protests in Centennial Park.
Can't catch the wind.
According to court documents, an officer was on routine patrol when he spotted a naked woman with a sign running toward people gathered at the park on West End Avenue. Protesters gathered in Centennial Park Sunday morning to protest the United States' involvement in the strikes on Iran. The officer began to attempt to detain the woman, and she ran away, screaming, "No!" That's the way I imagine she did it. Okay, don't you imagine? There she goes. She yelled no, but Metro Police said yes. They reported the officer was able to get her into the patrol car before she bit him on the inside of his arm. The officer was taken to the area hospital for treatment for the bite and possible blood-borne illnesses. Investigators believe the woman was under the influence of an intoxicant due to her heavy perspiration and exceptionally large pupils.
Goodness.
She was sweaty.
She was tripping LSD.
I admit, when I first read this story, I was hoping that sentence would end differently. Heavy perspiration and exceptionally large pupils. Mm-hmm. She was booked into the Metro jail around 11 a.m. and charged with felony aggravated assault on a first responder and 4 misdemeanors, including public indecency, resisting arrest, evading arrest, disorderly conduct, and public intoxication. Her bond has been set at $25,000. Nakedness in Centennial Park. Jackson?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Not great.
Hey, Jackson, there's another.
I got one.
Okay, all right. Well, then stop complaining and sell it, boy.
That's
sell
pretty
it.
girl.
Woman charged in felony pickle assault.
Dadgummit, Jackson.
Officers arrived on scene saying there were pickles and pickle juice scattered across the apartment. Kaylin Blaine. This story is written horribly.
You own it, baby. Own it, Jackson.
Get it, Brother Jackson.
Get on that thing.
Kaylin Blaine's boyfriend and cohabitant
Get mad at them damn pickles.
had a knot on the top of his head where she allegedly had clobbered him with a glass jar of the briny delicacy. According to police, Blaine, 32, and the 34-year-old victim argued Monday morning about the cleanliness of their Clearwater, Florida apartment.
Wonder if it was a spicy deal.
Blaine and the man have dated for 6 years and are parents of a 2-year-old girl.
Oh, no.
Goodness.
After being accused of making the mess, Blaine reportedly got agitated and grabbed the glass jar of pickles from which she had been munching. Blaine then allegedly struck the victim in the head with the jar, resulting in the pickle splatter observed by police. Blaine, who declined to speak with cops, was arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a felony.
A pickle?
And booked into the county jail. The pickle jar/weapon was not seized by police. Blaine was released from custody on her own recognizance last night, and a judge had ordered her to have no contact with the victim. Blaine, in the company of law enforcement, however, will be allowed a one-time visit to the home she shared with the victim for the retrieval of personal belongings, which presumably could include the pickles in question.
Should have been munching on pickles. That's kind of a suggestive selfie that they posted over there, Brother Jackson.
Some would say.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. Stand by.
Morning. You know, something strange happened to me this morning.
Was it a dream where you see yourself standing in sort of sun god robes on a pyramid with 1,000 naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at you?
No.
What movie is that from?
That's Real Genius, baby. You might be getting it this weekend. You never know.
Oh, that's a great movie.
That's
When did that come out?
fabulous film. It was the 1980s. 1985, Val Kilmer. Fabulous movie, and if you've never seen it, you might just get it because you'll actually enjoy that one, unlike Cool Hand Luke, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. That's how we play Nincompoops in the News. You can vote Pickle Boy. You can vote Naked Lady in Centennial Park. You can vote Poop Fella, who blamed it on the dog. Vote early, vote often. Nincompoops in the News. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, big goings on always at Savory Spice in Franklin. Next to Gray's Pharmacy, just off the square, you'll smell the delicious aromas of spices and seasonings and salts and peppers and flavors from around the country and around the globe, even before you walk through the door. When you do walk through the door, you'll find the friendliest folks around who understand spices, who understand seasoning and seasoning blends, and they can help find the right thing for you. If you're a novice around the kitchen, they can get you stocked up, or they can find the right seasoning for that special meal that you're attempting to prepare. Now, I've been mentioning that Savory Spice has a pretty big thing going on, and this is down south. If you know anyone in and around the Huntsville area, there's big news, big happenings going on down there, and I'm going to tell you more about that with Holly David and the rest of the crew at Savory Spice as the next few days and weeks and months go on. But just suffice it to say that if you live a little to our south and you're wondering what all the fuss is about with Savory Spice, you might be able to find out down to the border of Alabama and Tennessee. Savory Spice, you up your food game by upping your spice game, and you up your spice game from the one and only on the square in Franklin, Savory Spice.
Operation Epic Fury update. Meanwhile, Iranian Americans celebrating in Nashville, and the U.S. Supreme Court has just dealt California a blow. We'll tell you about it at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. Looking forward to that newscast coming up in less than 4 minutes. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Would love to hear from you as well. 615-737-9986. In about 10 minutes, we'll speak to Laverne Mayor Jason Cole. He has an update on what's going on with Nashville Electric. We promised that we would not lay that story down, and we're not going to. Teresa Broyles-Applin is still CEO, and she needs to resign that position immediately, if not sooner. 615-737-9986. In the meantime, there is voting ongoing. 3686 is under the mistaken assumption that you can vote more than once. You're not allowed to vote more than once. Just
Who
the
are they
one
voting for?
It says, well, I'll tell you. It says 550. Jackson and his pickle story carries the day. 551. Jackson.
Oh, see, yeah, that you can't do
552. Truffle butter. We counting that one?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. You know,
if you're going to make up the stupid nickname.
I didn't make it up, but listen to it. On yummy pickled cucumber. 554. Congratulations to Mr. Williams on his comeback. Well,
wow.
Yeah, I don't think you ever left.
I knew he was going to find something.
Ken's getting a lot of votes. Matt Murphy's getting his fair share. Jackson's getting his fair share. I'm going to have to tally these up specifically.
I won.
Jackson, you. If it were up to Jackson, we would just retire the category, and he would be nincompoop of the year.
He'd just have the trophy all the time.
Is that what you want, Jackson?
No, because I like playing the game.
Oh, well, if you're going to play the game, you got to learn to play it right.
He's already got one lined up for tomorrow.
Do you?
Yeah.
Jackson, you got to know when to hold them.
Got to know when to fold them.
Mm-hmm. Know when to walk away and know when to run. I don't want to ruin anything, but in that song, the fella dies. Y'all know that?
Really?
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. But in his final words, I found an ace that I could keep.
You know when to hold 'em.
When to hold 'em.
Know when to fold 'em. Sorry about that, Kenny.
You will be hearing from his lawyers.
I loved that song, man.
Who didn't?
Oh, I loved it.
That's not my favorite, though, Ken. Not my favorite from Kenny.
I liked Coward of the County.
Coward of the County is a great song.
Because you could hear a pin drop.
When Tommy stopped and locked the door. Oh!
Yes, sir.
30 years of crawling been bottled up inside him. Hey, but no, you cannot beat Lucille. You cannot beat Lucille.
Oh, well, that's a tearjerker, man.
Oh, my goodness gracious. He's a mountain of a man.
His
hand started shaking. His big heart was breaking.
Yeah.
He turned to the woman and said, R.I.P. Kenny. All right, one more hour to go. We'll get into the issue involving NES. We'll get back to your calls on Iran. 4 to 5 weeks. Are you cool with that? Oil prices went up throughout the course of the day. The stock market down. The oil price is up. There you go. That's a song from Hank Williams Jr., if I recall correctly. Back in a moment.
Six o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Top congressional lawmakers briefed on the U.S. and Israeli joint strikes in Iran. At least 6 U.S. service members are confirmed dead, and CENTCOM says 18 other service members have been seriously injured so far in operations. House Speaker Mike Johnson, after the briefing, defending the strikes.
Israel faced what they deemed to be an existential threat. Iran was building missiles at a radical and a rapid clip. to the point where our allies in the region could not keep up.
Earlier, President Trump says the U.S. was, quote, very nearly under threat with Iran building its missile capabilities. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says Americans don't want another Middle East conflict.
Many Americans across the country and across the political spectrum are wondering, why are our troops back in conflict in the Middle East?
President Trump says U.S. operations could take 4 to 5 more weeks. This is ABC News.
Meanwhile, here in Nashville, Fox 17 covered a celebration among Iranian Americans who are thanking President Trump.
Many of these Iranian Americans who told us they fled to the U.S. after atrocities under their home country's regime thanked President Trump, the U.S., and Israel.
No other country stand up till this happened today. And for the first time in 47 years in a history, somebody actually came to rescue us. Thank you, President Trump. That's all I can say, that in the bottom of my heart.
And another park over the weekend, anti-war protesters with the Party for Socialism and Liberation gathered chanting, "Shut it down." That group says it opposes any U.S. military action in Iran. And the U.S. Supreme Court today temporarily blocking California from enforcing rules that limit when schools can tell parents if a student identifies as transgender. The 6-3 decision lets a lower court ruling in favor of several religious parents take effect. Those parents argued California policies interfere with their right to raise their children according to their beliefs. California officials say their guidelines are meant to protect student privacy and prevent discrimination. Right now in Nashville, Channel 4's Braden Ross says legislation's advancing in the General Assembly that bans companies from using personal data to determine how much you pay.
This scenario might sound familiar.
You can just say something in your house, and the minute you open your phone, you see an ad for that.
Well, that happens because your devices are constantly keeping track of your data, what you search, what you buy, what you like. But what many people don't know is that data could actually change how much you pay for things.
You could be charged more for the same good than I would be charged at the exact same moment. That's just inherently unfair.
It's called algorithmic pricing. Companies take your data, like your shopping history, and use AI to determine how much you'd be willing to pay for something. And then they personalize your price based on that.
So if approved, these new rules would start on July 1st. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Just picked up another crash. It's over by the airport, blocking the right lane. 40 eastbound near Briley Parkway. Then Briley Parkway northbound at 24. There's a crash there in Glencliff. Then still working that wreck, 65 northbound before Wedgwood Avenue. I'm Ken Weaver.
All right, here we are. Here we go. Hour number 4 of the Matt Murphy Radio Show, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. This Monday edition has flown by. At least it has for me. I appreciate you listening. If you're on 99.7 FM, we thank you. Spotify, TuneIn, iHeart, we thank you. Perhaps you're on our app, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Take us wherever you go. We thank you. Or Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. We thank you. We are endeavoring to improve our television broadcast performance by getting a new computer in here, and I understand that the parts are coming in jiffy quick, any second now, and so I just want to make you aware of that and alert to that. We also thank U.S. Pest for bringing you this hour and this portion of the Matt Murphy Show. U.S. Pest is back, baby. Spring's back, and U.S. Pest is back. We're happy to have them. J.K., Erica, and the rest of the team want to talk with you. USPest.com. That's USPest.com. Obviously, we've been covering the story of the inclement weather, the nasty ice storm that came through Middle Tennessee as comprehensively as anyone in this community, and for good reason. A lot of people were impacted, affected, either monetarily through damage to their home, or in some cases, we lost lives in Davidson County and the surrounding communities. There was also a general frustration as to how NES did not prepare in advance of the storm, and how they reacted in the aftermath of the storm when their lack of preparation became readily apparent. One of those concerned with the lack of preparation and the lack of response was Mayor Jason Cole of Laverne, and we've been following up with him from time to time because his concern is not just because out of this one-off on the storm, but also a lack of representation on the board of NES regarding his constituents and what, if anything, can be done about that. To update us on where we are on this matter, we welcome back to the show Mayor Cole. Mayor, good evening. Hope you're well, sir.
Good evening. Yes, I am. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jason. So tell us where we stand as of tonight, and what can we expect this week?
Well, first off, unfortunately, we have not received a response back from NES in regards to the initial letter sent by myself, Representative Sparks, and Representative Stevens. They've just completely ignored that. But the good news is they did respond to my letter I sent requesting their presence at tomorrow night's board meeting. And while the CEO, Teresa Boyles-Alpin, has declined to show up, the executive vice president and their attorney will be at the meeting to answer questions from our board.
I guess Teresa Boyles-Alpin is just maybe she's just busy doing other things. I don't know. I'm fascinated with the idea that she would not show up with a city your size, with the number of people that utilize NES within your city. It's just it just adds to the level of frustration that we have regarding the leadership of that business. But I'm glad that someone is showing up. What do you hope to accomplish? I mean, talk to me about what you hope happens in the meeting tomorrow.
Well, first, I want to get answers for our residents as to their burning questions about the response from Winter Storm Fern. And then second, I want to pass forward to either representation for our residents and many other residents all across Middle Tennessee, or release us to our local provider here in Rutherford County, which would be Middle Tennessee Electric.
What would that process, because you've mentioned this in the past, Mayor Cole, that there are other options available, but those options would require, and I think you just alluded to it there, is it my understanding that it would require NES to quote unquote let you go?
Yes, NES and MTE would have to come to an agreement on the transfer of customers over and infrastructure, and then from there, that process can begin.
Have you had an opportunity to speak with Middle Tennessee Electric at all?
I've spoken with their government liaison, and they're open to discussions on it.
That's good news. I mean, that's positive. I would think that it's something that you have to consider, and I don't want to put thoughts in your mind or words in your mouth, but considering a lack of response. I mean, for those that don't know, Laverne is a city of about how many people?
42,000.
42,000. Of those, how many of your residents are on Nashville Electric?
Roughly 80% of the city.
Okay, so 80% of the 42,000, y'all can do the math on your own time, is under NES. And you reached out pretty early on just to get some sort of communication, a line of communication going with Teresa Broyles-Applin and the leadership of Nashville Electric. And Mayor, I think you waited weeks before you got any response whatsoever. Am I not correct?
Yes. There was no dialogue. It was just regular updates from the attorney as to what they were doing, no explanations, no answering questions, and it was fighting tooth and nail to get our residents' power back on.
I mean, based on that, you have your finger on the pulse of Laverne, and you know the city leadership far better than I do. Are you excited about the possibility of change? I mean, are you at a point where that is on the table as a consideration?
Yes, it is something our residents are excited about, and it's something that we've got growing support. I know Rutherford County is looking at passing a resolution itself in support of that.
Well, obviously, NES has to answer the question why they would not allow for representation in the outlying areas. It doesn't, I mean, as you and I have talked about, Mayor, it doesn't make a lot of sense that you have 80% of your city's population, many of whom live outside of Davidson County. I mean, obviously, these are folks that don't really have any direct line of representation currently on the board of NES.
And representation was what our country was founded on. No taxation without representation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't have a choice in this service, and they have no representation. So we need to change that.
So for those, is this an open meeting or closed?
This is open to the public. I encourage any and every resident to show up to this meeting. I know our state delegation for Laverne will be there. Our county commissioners will be there. This is an important meeting. I know several of the major news stations will be there.
And just remind people what time it is tomorrow and where exactly it is, Mayor.
It is 6 p.m. at Laverne City Hall, 5093 Murfreesboro Road.
Well, I encourage you, if you're a resident of Laverne or just concerned about a lack of representation on the board of NES in the surrounding communities, go there and see the goings on and see if, I hope you get answers, Mayor. I'm not going to hold my breath on it, but hopefully they can speak directly to this matter of a lack of representation and a lack of preparedness and response. How would you initiate, just one follow-up question real quick. So what is the next step? Let's say, I hope that y'all resolve it and everything works well and you get representation on the board, and I hope everything works out. But if it doesn't, because I'm doubtful that that's the way this is going to go, is the next step for you to formally request that NES begin a dialogue with MTE? Is that how that would work?
Well, we've already formally asked them to do that.
Okay.
Going forward, it would be either state action. I know I've had some conversations with some of our governor's candidates who are Excited to be able to help us with this. I've also begun reaching out to Nashville council members to see about putting something forward at their level to change their charter to allow for that to happen.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you get the state fellows involved, I love it, because that can really put the pressure on those that need to make the action happen, make it happen. Best of luck to you, Mayor. If there's anything that we can continue to do to try to support your efforts, please let us know, and we look forward to an update after the meeting tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, take care. There's Mayor Jason Cole joining us with NES. Look, we've been following that story. I love the fact that Jason's taken the initiative to say, look, if you don't give us better representation on that board, if you don't give us some level of respect here, we can move on. We can do things necessary to get another provider in here. And it's my understanding that other surrounding communities are thinking the same things. Hendersonville's in the same boat. Sumner County, some portions of Sumner are in the same boat. Some portions of Williamson County are in the same boat. Other communities aren't going to put up with a lack of preparedness, and then obviously a lack of accountability on the back end when it comes to these types of activity. It's ridiculous. Not only were they not prepared on the front end, they did not bring in, the news has come out slowly in drips and drabs over time. Nashville Electric Service did not bring in additional linemen. Y'all know that, right? Every other community that I know of brought additional linemen in. They prepped additional linemen because they were concerned about what would happen if the ice came down. Now, combine the fact that they haven't been cutting the canopies in the manner in which they should. They made that a stated position. They were warned months ago that the canopies would be a significant problem if an ice storm came through, and then an ice storm came through, and they didn't prepare. They just didn't bother. And now they're looking at all of us like we just ate a cockroach. What are you doing? Oh, my goodness. How dare you question us? It is just maddening. The levels of bureaucracy that insulate these individuals from being held accountable for their lack of action on the front end and for their lack of action on the back end. It's indefensible. Indefensible. No one's talking poorly about the linemen. We love the linemen. We love those that got out there and did the first responding, if you will. And I'm not knocking those linemen who were on the job. There were about 160 of them, but all of them were employees of NES. Typically in a situation like this, you pull from other parts of the country where those places are not as at risk. Other communities did it. It was established that in Charlotte, North Carolina, for that region of the country, they had over 10,000 linemen. In Atlanta, Georgia, they have over 10,000 linemen, ready, willing, and able. In Nashville, Tennessee, for NES, they had 160. By far, by percentage to scale, the smallest amount anywhere in the Southeast. And they're the 10th largest electrical company in America. It's unacceptable. 8811, you're so right. 8811 writes in, hey, Murphy, don't get too excited. It's all good. They're doing an after-action report, man. It's due in 12 months. Calm down. It'll be cool. Oh, they'll talk about problems and challenges and, looking back and hindsight and 2020 and all of those things and how they're going to reconfigure their triage report to make sure that in the event of another unprecedented historical storm of this nature that they are on the ball and ready to go. They're going to ramp up their tree trimming. They're actually going to spend all of their money next year. Oh, yeah. By the way, just to make sure you've heard it, Freddie O'Connell came up with the idea of this commission after he met with individuals representing Finn Partners. Finn Partners is a public relations firm hired by Nashville Electric Service. It was once Nashville Electric Service felt their feet to the fire that Finn Partners got engaged, got involved, and met with individuals behind closed doors, convincing them not to do anything rash, but maybe to get a commission together. And who knows who came up with the idea of having Phil Bredesen as the leader of that commission. I don't know Phil Bredesen. I'm sure he's a nice enough person, but he has an extreme conflict of interest. He does business. He earns money working with NES. No one would suggest to me that he is going to give a fair and impartial analysis of what they did not do, a fair critique, when his contracts depend on playing nice. And when Freddie O'Connell was questioned on this clear conflict of interest, he said, oh, well, the commission doesn't really have any authority anyway. Well, then what the hell's the commission for? Oh, deflection. That's right. I forgot. 12 months. Give enough time between now and then, and people will forget how awful Teresa Broa-Zapplin is at her job. Horrible at her job. 22 after the hour. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Unlike the big online lenders, Accurate Mortgage doesn't believe you're a number, and they don't ever do a mortgage just to make a buck. Accurate will never advise a loan that doesn't make sense for you, your family, and your financial situation. Now, listen. Even though rates might still be a little bit higher than they have been in the historical past, they have come down of recent late. A cash-out refi might be able to save you a lot of money every month by getting rid of higher interest rates on your consumer debt. Don't lose, as they say, the savings in your wallet to the interest rate in your head. In other words, there are ways to work this where you can save a lot of money on a monthly basis and save money long-term in the process. I have example after example, but I'm one of them. I used Accurate Mortgage for the purchase of my home, and I was so pleased. Mike and his team, they're such professionals. They do a great job making you feel at ease, walking you through the process, making sure you understand where you are in the process, what's needed, what's next. I absolutely loved every single moment of it. Got a great interest rate, too. Accurate Mortgage and MLS 129944. Rates and terms are subject to change, and equal housing lender, of course. Go online to Accurate Mortgage's website, AccurateMTG.com. Tell them I sent you, AccurateMTG.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Iran, the big story, and we expect that Iran will be the big story for the foreseeable future. The U.S. Embassy has been hit by Iranian drones, it is believed. That is according to sources. Obviously, it's I think it's the middle of the night. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning over there. So we're monitoring that situation. We'll continue to update you on the story as information becomes available. Take your thoughts, your commentary. Once again, just to reiterate, I have every faith in the world in this president and this administration, and they have managed to thread the needle in the past, and I am taking a wait-and-see approach. I am concerned, as all of us should be, about any sort of long-term engagement in the Middle East. We just extracted ourselves from multiple long-term engagements. Forever wars, they were called. They're not forever wars. They're not ongoing, so they're not forever wars. But, yeah, these things that just don't seem to have an identifiable objective. Pete Hegseth attempted to lay out the objectives in this conflict, said regime change was not necessarily one of them. Because if a regime change is a part of our objective, then we have to sit there and wait on it, right? We have to do it. And I don't think that's necessarily in our American interest. They can do it themselves. You know what? You can figure out which leader you want, but it's not going to be that one that slaughtered all of the people and continued to threaten the United States of America and our allies. In the meantime, Keith is next. Hey, Keith, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well. I hope you are.
I'm doing great. You know, the whole debacle from the NES boils down to one thing. When you have a government that won't let you cut a tree down without approval, or you have to pay them a fee for that tree, or you have to plant a comparable tree somewhere else, then you have a problem. When you try to supply electricity to all the people that there are, there should not be any ifs, ands, or buts about tree trimming. There ought to be so many feet on one side, so many feet on the other. Everybody loves trees. That's a great thing. But they also like to have power, and they like to be warm, and they like to be cool. So when they stop all their baloney, they can trim the trees.
A lot of baloney.
And the funny thing about it is a lot of the people that got hit the worst are some of the ones that raised enough cane that, you know, they said that they didn't want their trees trimmed, and they weren't trimmed. And so I think the council passed some kind of legislation saying that they didn't have to accept it to have the trees trimmed.
Well, and here's my thing, Keith, and I've been saying this for a number of weeks. And I agree with you, by the way, on the tree trimming. I agree with you 100%. But let's say you and I are in charge, and we've heard from our people, and our people said we like our trees, and we don't care what the risk is. We're gonna do our thing. We want our trees, and so we were like, okay, well, we're going to cut back on the trimming, and we're not going to trim the trees in your neighborhoods. But if the proverbial what hits the fan, then we're kind of hosed. Well, even if we did it that way, if we decided not to trim the trees, we had like a 2-week advance on this ice storm, and 4 days out, everybody was saying ice. So what I don't understand is you don't trim the trees on the front end. You've been told last November that the tree trimming is a problem if an ice storm comes around, and here comes an ice storm, and they don't bother bringing anybody extra in. They don't even bother calling up other folks to make sure that they've got enough people in the event that something like this happens. That's what infuriates me.
Well, that's true. But if you do something on the front end, you probably don't have to worry about that back end.
Well, I don't disagree with that. I mean, I agree with that. The point I'm making, and thank you, Keith, for the call, is you haven't done the job on the front end. Why in the world would you not be cognizant of the damage that could happen if the worst case scenario happens on the back end? Jeff writes in and says, the trees, oh my God, the trees. Remember that Have you ever seen that clip, Jackson? I think Jeff's referring to the old growth forest. The trees, we're sorry, trees. I'm going to play that for you next, Jackson. You'll dig that one. 615-737-9986. It's the Murphy Show on Super Talk. Stand by for news. Spring has not sprung. That happens in a few weeks, but March is here, and with March comes warmer conditions. We might have a cold snap before we really do start heating up for spring, but as spring is right around the corner, it is time for you to get a personal spring tune-up at Grace Point Healthcare. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. With spring comes seasonal allergies. Boy, don't I know it. I laughed at people with allergies for the first, 38, 40 years of my life. Just laughed. What are you doing? Allergies. But now I have them. I mean, they came on me like a ton of bricks, and now I have to do something about it. As temperatures begin to increase, social engagements do as well. If you're looking to get rid of unwanted lines or wrinkles, or if you're looking for an allergy solution so you can get out and about, Grace Point has both. I mean, these are two separate deals, right? One is allergy solutions. The other, Botox. That's right. Affordable Botox treatments are available for you at Grace Point Healthcare. Call them. They're located in Franklin, 599-6868. If you're looking for a new medical provider, they're a direct pay provider. Ask them what all of that means. Ask them about the Smart Care plan. Also, new patients in the month of March, you'll get a free B12 shot. If you ask, tell them you heard about them on the Matt Murphy Show. New patients, now through the end of March, a free B12 shot. That is great stuff. Go to Grace Point Healthcare. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. We will not, in fact, be in a boat, but we will be at the boat show this Thursday. Excited about that. By the way, Thursday, big day. Big day for the Murphy Show. Jackson, you coming up to Capitol Hill with us? It's Raccoon Day.
When is it?
Thursday morning.
We got the boat show.
I understand that, Jackson. I was just saying it's a big day on Thursday. I have a meeting at the Tennessee State Capitol at 10 a.m. to talk about raccoons.
I'm going to let you go.
And freedom and the ability for Tennesseans to live a life of their own choosing. And if that means they want to raise a baby raccoon, they should be able to raise a baby raccoon. And we're not kidding. This is a liberty bill, not just a raccoon bill, a liberty bill. And we'll be up there Thursday morning. So you lawmakers, we'll see you then. And then I'm out at the fairgrounds for the boat show. Should be fun.
Got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Who won Nincompoops?
Oh, I haven't totaled it up. It was just so razor thin tight. I thought that I would do it after the show was done. I understand that you want to win, and I think you're in the lead, but I just have to. I have to play this straight and honest, Jackson. Jackson just pointed at himself. You just pointed at yourself, like
no, I didn't.
Have you ever heard? I have audio of Teresa Broyles Applin that has just recently been unearthed. Jeff, you are my spirit animal, and this is just for this. By the way, Jackson, have you ever seen this? This is from late 80s, early 1990s. I don't know exactly when it was, but it's the narrator will describe it for all of those of you who have never seen it. It's much better to be seen than heard, but I cannot play you the video on the talk television side of things right now because of the computer issues that we're having. But just enjoy a bunch of liberals. Once again, Jackson, fully real. Bunch of liberals screaming over trees. Stand by. I don't know why, but I'm going to do audio. There we go. Why does it keep doing that?
Deep in the woods of North Carolina, an extremist eco group called Earth First bewails the violation of American nature.
I want to mourn the loss of all the old growth trees I've seen, and tell them that we love them and that we don't want them to die, that there are some people here who do care. So I want you to know that, trees, that we care. Trees.
I think we are deeply hurting in America.
This woman's name is Sydney Lome Grace, and she is with the organization Earth First.
Deeply craving answers. I think that we've lost our identity as we have evolved into technology and into industrialized society.
We love you, trees.
Bring me to this cathedral. Bring me to those guys. Bring me to this rock that has the most incredible life. That makes me feel alive.
Oh, here comes the drum circle.
Burnt forest, and I felt outraged, but I didn't scream and I didn't cry, and I need to.
That's an oldie but a goodie. That's the way I feel when I think of the canopy space over in Belmead and some of the other communities that were so insistent that they keep the canopy. I don't mean to pick on Belmead, but yeah, that's from back in the day. Once again, that kind of created the internet for me back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Old growth in North Carolina. Yeah, they're a little upset. All right, Jackson, real quick. I have failed in my hosting duties again. It's time. So on Fridays, we present to you suggestions from Matt Murphy and where's my? We need to put this on the wall because there it is. Here we go. All right, it's time. As we wind down the program, we've talked about Iran. We've talked about some of the more important issues in and around our community. Now it's time to give a full-throated Matt Murphy Movie Mayhem movie review from the film's scene over the weekend. Jackson Williams was assigned a
Scream 7.
Hand Luke. No, not Scream 7. Although I hear it was a disappointment.
The ending was. The first 90 minutes, excellent.
Bottom half, not so much.
They did not stick the landing, as one would say.
Is this going to be the last one?
No.
No, they'll just...
It just broke the record for the largest opening in its franchise history.
What? Why?
Because people are excited to see it. So 8 will be made.
My goodness gracious. As evidenced by the film that you gave me, younger generations of people do not have any taste when it comes to films.
Okay, Hot Rod is a cult classic.
All right, here's what I will say. If you've never seen the film Hot Rod, if you would like to know if Jackson Williams was recreated into a movie, this is what the movie would be.
I have so many fun facts about Hot Rod.
It stars Andy Samberg, Chris Parnell, Bill Hader, amongst others. I don't know who the female lead is in the film.
Neither.
She's a very lovely-looking lady. Was
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett is her jerk. Babe!
Come on!
Very good. And it had its funny moment. Look, it is a collection of funny people in a bad movie. Is exactly what it is.
It is it's not a good idea. Like, the premise is not good.
The premise is basically...
But they're funny, so it works.
This guy who's played by Andy Samberg lives his entire childhood believing that his father was a stuntman, and he wants to be a stuntman. And his stepfather, he died being a stuntman, and his stepfather is a jerk to him and doesn't feel like he's a manly man. And then he proceeds to have to try to help him because of a situation with that guy's heart, only because he wants to beat the crap out of him.
Yes.
And that is the basic premise of the film. And then there's a big exciting conclusion where he tries to jump, 15 buses?
15 school buses.
15 school buses. And you can watch it for yourself. Just understand that it's not a very good movie. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4.5 out of 10 Murphys. The 4.5 Murphys exists solely because I like many of the people within the film.
It's a fun movie to watch.
It has funny moments. I will admit to you that I thought it was pretty good in places. There were some LOL moments.
Cool beans.
And yes, cool beans.
Cool beans.
I mean, it's just so weird. It was just so weird.
But it's funny.
Cool beans. It's just so odd. Your movie, Jackson,
was Scream 4.
Was cool. How many films did you watch this weekend?
I think 6.
What? So you watched Scream 7 in IMAX.
So I saw Scream 7. The ending made me angry.
Okay.
So I went back Saturday. I watched Scream 2 and 3 to see if they were any better.
Were they?
I was just... Yes. Scream 2 was Scream 3. I regret giving you Scream 3 as a Scream movie.
Why?
I don't think it's as good as the other ones.
Okay.
Then Sunday, I watched Scream 4, Hot Rod, Pop Star, and Cool Hand Luke. So that's 4. That's 7.
That's a lot of movies.
7.
I understand that Cool Hand Luke is from a different generation. I understand that it's a more serious-minded film. It's not goofy and funny, although I have a few goofy, funny movies that I think I'm going to throw at you.
I haven't seen Office Space.
In the next couple of weeks. See, I got to put it on the list. Office Space, Real Genius. Real Genius is got to be one of the next ones up. Because Real Genius is like Hot Rod, only back in the 80s. It's goofy. It's funny for funny's sake. It's got a pretty good storyline to it, so that might be your next movie. What do you think of Cool Hand Luke?
I can appreciate it without it being a thing that is personally my taste.
So you know what they're doing.
I know it's a good movie, and it's executed very well. It's very, very sad.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a story about he just gets his butt kicked.
How many eggs do you think you could eat, Jax?
Not that many, probably 10.
You can't eat 50 eggs. Nobody can eat 50 eggs.
It just felt like every time a new scene started, it was like, oh, how's he going to get maimed for the next 10 minutes.
Crap beat out of him here. What's your dirt doing in my hole, Luke?
That was awful. That was like tough to watch stuff.
Well, yeah, they broke him.
Yeah.
They felt like they had to break him, and they broke him. So, well, finally, final question from me. What did you think of Lucille?
Lucille?
The chick washing the car.
Oh, in the beginning? I didn't know her name.
That's what George Kennedy said. He called her Lucille and goes, how do you know that? And he said, anything that looked that good has got to be named Lucille.
Oh, that's something you say. I can't believe I didn't pick up on that.
Yes.
And I give it a 7 out of 10.
There we go. 7 out of 10 Jacksons. All right. I feel bad about my 4.5 out of 10 for Hot Rod.
You're getting another Sandberg movie this weekend, by the way.
You know, we can.
This one's much better.
Flex
This one
our
is a lot
wings,
better.
stretch out our horizons. Someone said, have you ever seen Money Pit?
No.
It's a pretty good film, too. I feel like that's a slap at me, though, because I just bought a house and I had to buy a new heating and air conditioning system for it. But one way or the other. Yes, TB, I asked him about the car wash scene. Have you watched Weird Science?
Just assume no on all of these.
Any 19... So we've got a
okay.
So
Here's the thing.
You get a little closer to me. I get a little closer to you. I can get a lot closer to you in terms of what I think. I think Weird Science is right up your alley. I think 16 Candles is right up your alley. I think Real Genius is right up your alley. I think these are films that you would have a greater appreciation for. So Jackson. I'm going to get away from the serious-minded artsy films, and I'm going to move toward what I think you're going to appreciate a little bit better. How about that?
I'm just going to give you a guide here. Anything made before the year like 2003 that's not Star Wars or Back to the Future, it's probably a pretty safe bet I haven't seen.
Man, Kelly LeBrock, boy, in Weird Science. My goodness gracious. What do your little maniacs want to do first? Oh, my goodness. They showered in their jeans with her. They made her, and then you'll see it. 51 after the hour. We'll wrap things up, make sure there's nothing we missed on the other side on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Wellness Institute of Nashville is not only the finest location to alleviate your pain in Middle Tennessee, really all of Tennessee. They're also they're sponsoring. Hey, did you hear they're sponsoring our 1,000th show? That's pretty cool. In 12 days, they're the big sponsor of the number 1,000 episode of the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, I seriously, folks. The HydroWave is brand new technology. The only place to have it is the Wellness Institute of Nashville. You need this in your life. If you hurt anywhere in your body, your back, your neck, your knees, your hips, your elbows, wherever it hurts, they can alleviate that pain and help you live a better life. And the new HydroWave stimulates your very own stem cells in your body to regenerate tissue, to help accelerate that healing process, and to get you pain-free more quickly. Start a pain-free life today by making the call that so many others have made to the Wellness Institute of Nashville. They have my seal of approval. Go to painisbad.com, painisbad.com, or 615-246-5009, 246-5009. It's the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Go see Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley today. 7915, the legend of Billie Jean. You know, there's only so much pain I'll put Jackson through. And that is not something that he needs to suffer through. That might be on the list, but it's down there. I watched The Legend of Billie Jean way too much when I was a kid because it was on Cinemax all the time. It was like the only film. And she cuts her hair, blah, blah, blah. Fair is fair. A lot of you recommending films. We'll take all of these under advisement. Terry Gilliam's Brazil, that's a good one. A movie about killer spiders, Breakfast Club, Tremors, Army of Darkness, Stripes, Spies Like Us. Have you even seen Caddyshack? Answer no. Did you keep up with how many shows total you did in your Alabama gig? I'm just curious. I did not. I did not always wanted to, but I started too late. I started in Alabama in 2000. In January of 2000, I started at WACV in Montgomery, Alabama, 1170 on the AM dial. I worked there until the summer of 2002. I moved to 101.1 FM. It was a radio station called The Source in Birmingham, Alabama for 5 years. They changed formats and fired me, and I picked up in 2007 with then Citadel Broadcasting, which eventually became Cumulus Broadcasting or was absorbed by Cumulus. And I worked on WAPI, the AM station there eventually. I became program director, and we transferred over to the FM side. So I always wanted to have done that and never did. And so I promised myself when I was fortunate enough, blessed enough to get an opportunity to come to Nashville, I promised myself that I would do a count. And we have, and now we're at 988. No. 6195. I'm not talking about Billy Jack. I'm talking about the other super texters talking about The Legend of Billie Jean. That is a different movie. It stars, I forget her name. It was the same woman that played Supergirl. Actress, I don't know what her name was. It was not a very good movie. Or at least my memory says it wasn't a very good movie. I remember hating when it was on because there was nothing really else to watch. But this is a different film. Yes, Young Guns, RoboCop, Trading Places, Platoon. I got them all. The Sting. Oh, that's a great film. Jackson, you've got so many movies to watch. I'm so glad this segment's back in our lives. I'll do my part. I will not make us miss 3 months again. You do your part by please bring me movies that are better, not this slop that you've been providing. That's going to wrap it up for us. We've enjoyed it. I hope you have as well. Mark Levin coming up next. Red Eye Radio coming up after that. And before you know it, it's Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis. Chris Handelong at 9 o'clock in the morning. Then Chad Benson, and then lo and behold, 3 o'clock tomorrow, it's the Matt Murphy Radio Show. For Ken Weaver, for Jackson Williams, this is Matt Murphy speaking and saying, hug your loved ones. Have a good evening, folks. So long, everybody.